to the Gamegasm podcast. We put the O in radio. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy.
English language gotta do whatever my verse say. So Brian.
And what's up? This is Andrew.
And welcome to the Gamegasm podcast, or the GGP as I called it in the last episode.
GGP.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Grandma's gross pussy or something.
That's all I can think of is grandma and pussy. Sad when you put GGP. It could be great grandma.
GGP, are you with me?
Nope.
Okay.
Not on Grandma's pussy.
That was a Tech 9. It was a Tech 9 song. It was
a
different rapper in a Tech 9 song.
It was a different rapper in a Tech 9 song.
Was it KD?
No, it was not.
Was it Cut Calhoun?
No, it's only one song. This guy's only appears in one song.
Who was it?
Chino XL.
Ah, that's right.
Which is
Chino XL.
Psychology 101.
Yeah. The English language got to do whatever
Do
my
what
verse say.
He's like, this lyric hits so hard like Chris Brown's fist in the face of Rihanna. That's like one of the best lines.
He said something about being thirsty, and he's thirsty.
Yeah, well, I can make thirsty rhyme with thirsty. If I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Gamegasm podcast, noobs. Sup?
Might have some pros out there listening.
Nah,
Probably not.
no. Just kidding. I don't know
You're
why.
all noobs.
Uninstall.
In comparison to us.
Yeah. So good at everything.
Eat shit,
You're a
noobs.
bunch of nubs.
How's that mailbag looking?
It's hefty.
Yeah?
It may need to get looked at by a doctor.
Wimpy.
Could be cancer.
Oh, God.
Hefty.
Really?
Nobody, nobody fucking knows what that is.
Oh, no.
Actually, most people listening don't know what a commercial is.
We're probably too
Those
old.
things that you don't watch when you TiVo something.
You DVR something.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like when I download this, I never see a commercial. A commercial.
You know, honestly, I'm thinking about
Commercial?
getting Twitch Turbo just so I don't have to watch like 30-second commercials on people's shit anymore. Like,
That's pretty terrible.
It's amazing though. Sometimes it's like fucking just
I won't do
10-second inconvenience makes you want to kill yourself now.
Because anytime I see like watching, a VOD or even watching a stream that has a commercial, I like walk off or do something. I do kind of revert to the 15-year-old child and pull up my phone or use my other monitor to do something else. I can't. That 30 seconds, I just can't focus on the commercial.
Or you could subscribe to that person instead, save yourself the money, and install AdBlock.
It's true.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever. I don't even care either way.
See, now you're paying $5 instead of $8.
Is it $8?
Yeah, it's $7.99.
That's
Turbo.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
A month?
Yeah.
Except sub to a couple people. I should probably sub. Yeah, I should probably do that.
All right.
Anyway,
Anywho.
let's check out them questions.
So we got I believe 3 newcomers.
Ooh.
Newcomers 99 or newcomers 13 or something.
How do you spell comers?
With a U.
Oh yeah, that's dirty. It's like a porno.
First one here is Chris.
You
He gives a screen name Scootapoo.
No,
No.
got nothing. Sorry, dude. If we're supposed to know you, our bad.
I know Kickapoo.
Is that when a dog scratches its butt on the carpet?
I'm not sure what he's going with.
That's
No.
Like if you poop while on a
maybe his name's
moped.
Scooter, and
Latino cut up Scooter. From basketball, I forgot about that. I don't know, for a second, I was gonna go, it's Chris Nochelino. It's Latino cut up Scooter on.
Oh my god, that's
What's the difference between recycled crap and same old heartthrob Mark Swenson? He's from New Jersey. I remember way too much of basketball. Okay. If you're playing an RPG, do you prefer to be the bad guy or the good guy?
good guy.
oh yeah, good guy. I mean, if there's a weird alternate playthrough where I can play as some of the bad guy and have a different perspective, sure. But
Are you saying if you get to like a Skyrim type game where you get to choose your path?
He did not define that.
Because
obviously, if we're doing that, like a Fable or we all pretty much
very
rob
neutral.
and murder everybody.
we're not there to try to be evil, but we do what we want to get. You guys did that in one playthrough.
Like everyone, Oblivion, Morrowind.
Oblivion's the only one I knew about.
no, anytime we could be evil
Morrowind,
and
yeah.
take the evil. Though I will say the thing that would get in
Or
the
Morrowind is the one I knew about.
Yeah,
'cause
we
you
knew
depopulated
Oblivion,
the
too.
world, yeah.
Yeah.
the one thing that would get in the way of our being evil was rewards. Like if the reward was better for being good than evil,
Yeah.
we were very neutral, like you said, very neutral in that respect.
After that,
but we
if
killed
we
you.
could kill them, we could kill them.
Or if we could get the quest reward by looting it off their body.
We would do the same
Yeah.
thing.
See, I'm the kind of guy who... Well, I do that too. I'm the kind of guy who will help somebody out unless they have stuff that I want to steal, and then I'm taking your shit. I'm sorry. I can still help you out if you don't get mad at me for stealing your shit. But if you get mad at me, I'm going to kill you.
The only thing about neutrality, it's similar like Fable. I either, like, usually in Fable, funny thing or not, normally I play through super good.
Yeah, me too.
Or I would play through super bad.
Right.
I never played the middle.
I'm Superman.
Yeah. I either wanted to be, Jeffrey Dahmer or like a choir boy. I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be in the middle. So I guess the only thing about the question is, for the most part, I think I would take a good guy too. Because the traditional RPG...
You're saving the world.
It makes it, and also usually it makes for a better story, an antagonist.
You're a quote-unquote superhero, if you will.
Yeah.
You become one at least.
That's it for him. I'm sorry, I was going to the next guy. So good question.
Yeah.
It would be neat if they maybe did more bad guy games.
They could do more RPGs with the same storyline from two different perspectives. Would be cool.
Yeah, you could almost do like imagine if using a fanboy one, Final Fantasy VII, if you released a brand new one.
Play from like Sephiroth.
You were
exact
Sephiroth.
Same story, but from Sephiroth's point of view.
The problem is, though, at the end, do you lose?
No.
Well, maybe you could do like an alternate ending with it.
Because you do an alternate story, or not an alternate perspective. Why can't you do an alternate ending? Because you could die to Sephiroth while you're trying to beat him.
Well, that's very true. And unless you're power leveled, you probably did at least your first battle. Okay. Next guy's Jack, who, by the way, gave us a big props. He loves the podcast.
Awesome.
Well, he should. It's fucking
Jack.
awesome.
Yeah.
We love you, Jack. What type of RPGs are fave? He mentioned that we are always talking about RPGs, but we don't necessarily narrow it down. We do normally use it as a broad term. So, do we like a turn-based or a strategy RPG, open world RPG? What is your favorite type of RPG?
I think we did narrow it down because we made our RPG game and we all chose strategy based. Not turn based, but a more tactical based.
A tactical RPG.
Tactics, ogre battle, that kind of stuff.
Shining Force, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like there to be some sort of alternate, turn-based is fine. We all like all kinds of RPGs, so yeah. I guess you're really...
Well, that's second place then.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and squash the whole list thing because you throw an RPG at me, I'm going to fucking play it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Doesn't matter if it's sandbox,
but there are things you prefer.
Style. Yeah. I think if you're going to throw... in number 2... I would probably choose open world sandbox style, with talent trees. I like talent trees.
I do too. Reason. Talent trees are always fun, as long as they're like the Skyrim talent trees were actually really cool how they did them. Mm-hmm. I like different abilities each. I kind of don't like the talent trees that are like plus 2% attack power per level. Yeah. You put 5, like the old school WoW talent trees, but they get really mathy.
You're right.
And I get that there are times and places for those, like an old school WoW, and they even got away from them in WoW.
Point dumps is what they are.
Yeah, I want every point that I have to be pretty meaningful overall. There's a couple of talents that you may not really care about, but give me something meaningful. And to me, if I'm leveling up in, the idea of playing an RPG is to play a role. And if I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of the game and I'm leveling up in the game, I'm not like, fuck yeah, 2% extra melee damage, so whatever.
Yeah.
So, when you think about it, that's 2 damage or 20 damage every 1,000 damage you would do. It means nothing.
Right.
But, in the math of the game,
when you put 5 points into it.
Yeah, when you do that 10%, you're like, now I'm killing a creature exponentially faster than I was previously, and that's nice. I guess I would probably be the lone one that I think if I was going to pick a second place, it would probably be turn-based.
Yeah.
Traditional.
See, mine doesn't have to be open world, but I really like the enjoyment of trying to min-max in a talent tree. I really like to look at something and go, that's a wasted point, or where should I put this to be the best person I can be,
Mm-hmm.
And then if I don't like it later, respecking and redoing those points. That's always fun for me in RPGs.
I agree.
And he's got a follow-up to that.
Yeah?
He wants our opinions on a few different things in the RPG world. So our views, pros or cons. He doesn't necessarily set it up that way, but he's giving 2 things. Like, XP leveling, how do we feel? Do we like it maybe more difficult, less difficult? Do we like it more like a Skyrim, a traditional? Our thoughts on the leveling systems?
Leveling systems, period?
Yes.
I don't like Skyrim's leveling system for one reason. I don't know the actual experience I'm gaining. When you do something, you get a kill, your bar moves a little bit. That doesn't tell me anything. I don't want to have to look at the Wikipedia to find out how much experience I got from making an iron dagger. I want to know exactly how much experience I got from making an iron dagger. Yeah, because it does seem a
little bit arbitrary in that respect.
Yeah, I much prefer a fucking old school Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy, whatever you want to go to, just an old school, hey, I killed a Brontosaurus, I get this much fucking experience.
And I need 20,000 experience to my next level, and I'm at 16,000.
And I can see the grind. I know how long the grind's going to take. And then also, not to mention, as a kid, you're getting ready to go to bed or do whatever. You're like, okay, I need this much experience. I need to kill this many creatures. You know where your grind needs to be.
Right. The thing, and we're going to talk about ESO here for a second, because I've said this before and I'll say it again. You gave me the numbers. You gave me the ability to know exactly how much experience I need to get to the next level. The problem is that the experience that I gained was only from questing, or the bulk of the experience I gained. You have to find a way, once you give us that experience, you have to find a way to make questing, PvP,
all of it relevant.
All of it that is a possibility. PvP, dungeons, grinding, and questing all need to be at least somewhat equal.
Agreed.
Otherwise, you take me out of the game.
Something, and I am more of the traditional. I do agree with the more traditional aspect of it. But the one thing I do like are the games that reward you for the other menial, not necessarily menial tasks, but the small tasks that you do. Whether it be exploration experience, whether it be unlocking a chest experience, whether it be finding a secret experience, or even like a good social interaction. Like, you handled that in a different way. Here's experience. Like, kind of like going back to like an old tabletop, kind of.
That almost usually rewards you in your talent you're using, though.
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
if you craft, you're leveling up your crafting, which I agree wholeheartedly with you. It's almost like two separate, and maybe this is the only one of his little few things he didn't really frame, the XP versus level. And I think maybe that's what he's getting. You want experience like a traditional, or a level like a Skyrim where you just get a level, an arbitrary level.
No, I can't handle arbitrary. Can't handle that. I have to know
numbers.
what's happening.
And honestly, it's very simple too. Though I agree completely with Andrew. It's fun when you're using persuasion, and you level that up, and then you get different choices when you talk to a guy, or maybe a shopkeeper, you get a bigger discount. You get to use those abilities by doing those extra things. You're improving yourself in another way.
Something that, and not to cut you off,
go
but
ahead.
There's something that I noticed just now that's interesting about us is we're all about the immersion in an RPG. We're all about being in that experience. Well, being in that experience to me is getting away from the numbers and the talent trees and the min-max kind of thing. But we all said we want that exact number of experience. So like the Skyrim system they're using, it's a little more arbitrary and a little bit less mathy and a little bit less numbery. We all don't prefer that system, even though we prefer the immersion in the system.
I will say I'm not a min-maxer, though. I put points in lockpicking before. I know that's a terrible wasted talent tree. I just thought it was easier. And at the end of the day, whether I do... It's not a competitive environment. Yeah. Like in WoW, I would never put a wasted skill point.
No.
But in Skyrim...
in Skyrim,
it's a little bit different.
So Skyrim's a little different.
So I'm not necessarily a min-maxer in that respect, though. A good point.
Well, I honestly don't think immersion takes me out of... I don't think numbers take me out of immersion.
No.
I'm just saying more that it was an interesting, view, or an interesting...
Well, like, in my real life, I manage a budget. I know the numbers of my income and the dollars that I have to my name. I know how much I weigh, how tall I am. I know my statistics. I want to know that in my game, too.
Fair enough.
Not necessarily if I'm training in fucking Taekwondo or something, I don't know that I'm level 3 and I need 14 experience to get to level 4. But
and that's more what I was meaning, I guess.
I want to go back to Romance 2, though, real quick. When you had your stats in that game, you had 3 stats.
You want to go back to it? When do we bring it up?
I want to go back to that and bring up Romance 2.
I want to go back to Romance 2.
I want to go back before we move on and bring up Romance 2, because you had 3 numbers. You had War, Charisma, and Intelligence. But there were 1,000 more stats behind the scenes that you couldn't ever know.
True.
And you would never know. And I thought it was really fucking cool. And it actually reignited my passion to play that game once I downloaded the ROM and somebody had taken the ROM and extracted all those secret hidden stats. That was so fucking cool. They could have just included that. It would have been easy and it would have been awesome. That's just, I'm just saying, you give me 3 colored bars and 3 numbers when there's actually 15 stats. Give me that shit.
Though I will say, the only thing about the numbers I would defend in that game is not knowing who likes you and who would leave you makes the game harder, and also makes it a little bit more A, historical, and B, you don't know the first probably, especially as a child, the first 20, 30 players, there's no internet. You don't know who likes who.
Right.
It makes the game, I'm going to give this guy troops. Can I trust him? Is he trustworthy in battle? It makes for an interesting dynamic.
Right. No. And the relationship stuff I understand, but still, there's a lot more statistics that they hid.
True.
That like Mario Kart. There's a lot of statistics they hide. The exact numbers. Why give me bars when I could see numbers?
And especially using Mario Kart when they obviously value speed at a much higher, ratio.
Right.
So why put it on the same fucking bar? Give me a maximum of what I'm allowed to get, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, because 3 bars, 2 bars, 4 bars is
What's
not...
fucking... Yeah.
Especially if you're using a sliding scale. If everything's not, at a 1.0 ratio. If you're at a 1.5 or 0.75, then you're giving me no information at all, essentially.
Right.
Okay, so the other one's part of this real quick. We'll go through linear. We'll just say yay, one or the other. Linear, non-linear story.
Honestly, neither matter to me. It doesn't matter at all. I prefer both.
Depends on the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't mean to push.
I guess I will give an answer. It matters. I guess if I'm saying like one better than the other, I'd probably take linear.
I mean, it does matter. I don't mean to say it doesn't matter, but I'm saying that if you give me Skyrim, that doesn't have a linear story, but it has a linear path to the
It has
main
a linear story. Just it's
but it doesn't make me follow it.
Yes.
Or you give me something like Final Fantasy where I have to do that storyline. I'm fine.
Still
I'm fine
play
either way. It just doesn't matter to me.
But it seems like for RPG level, you play a lot more nonlinear. Other than Stick of Truth, when's the last time you played a linear RPG?
It's been a while. But when's the last time they released a good linear RPG?
I would say all the Atlas games are still coming. They're more of a console.
Is.
It's more Japanese stuff. Than,
Yeah,
okay. But they make a lot of their games like Disgaea, all those kind of games. They make some other ones too.
But even Disgaea got a little.
Well, it did there later on. Yeah. So some of the later sequels, but the battles themselves are very linear.
But I enjoyed Stick of Truth simply because it was that old turn-based linear style story. So if they came out with more big-name titles
that were good
and that were hyped like the other games were, and I actually knew about them, I totally buy it.
Yeah, but it's a niche thing.
Right.
That's the only issue.
I guess strategy games, but I still know when each strategy game's coming out. You know
True.
What I mean?
Maybe you don't follow that. I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, did you like one or the other? I would say in the end, you don't care. You'll like both. But if you had to pick one or the other, you'd probably pick nonlinear.
No. I honestly, literally, you could give me any game in the world and tell me it's linear versus nonlinear, and I would play it either way. It does not matter to me.
Fair
I
enough.
do not have a preference.
Open world versus levels.
What?
An open world, like Sandbox.
Oh, versus levels.
Yes.
I thought you were thinking
like
level
a
3,
Shining
level
Force,
4.
for an example, or something like that, where you have specific levels, or you have specific dungeons, you have maps, cities.
I kind of like levels.
I'm with you on that. Because when you have levels, each zone carries more weight in a way, and it also makes for better pacing too.
I tell you why I like levels, because in zone-based games, almost always the monsters level with you, and in did I say zone-based? I meant in non-zone-based games, the monsters level with you. I know what you meant. In zone-based games, usually you're like, oh shit, I can't go to that place yet. I'll get my ass kicked. You know what I mean?
It's kind of fun, too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like once you finally go to that dungeon, you're like, wow, it's a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm going to agree both of you. I much prefer levels. Not that open world is bad. It's just I tend to go that way.
Right.
And he mostly wanted to know our thoughts on crafting in general for any game.
It's always a second thing for me. It's always like that thing that I do when I'm bored and I don't have something else to do. And never is the crafting items better than the stuff you're going to get in in-game dungeons anyway. That's the bad part.
I love the idea of crafting. I've always loved crafting in games. I've loved the idea of it. The implementation has been a little lackluster, and it's tough to do because you have to, like, depending on what you're, is it a Skyrim where you're single player where you can let crafting be a little overpowered, or is it a World of Warcraft where you have to say, well, I have to reward you for having the crafting and working it all the way up there. So we kind of are doing that with good weapons, but though you'll out-level them. But I've always liked the idea to be able to make some of the most amazing shit in the game. You should be able to craft some of the most amazing shit in the game.
Well, like, what was that? Was there something you were making when you were a shaman? Some kind of hammer, some shit you were making that was really pretty good.
Oh, back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, a Dragon Strike.
Yeah,
Dragon
Strike.
That was like a strike on my robe.
That was a big deal to get it.
That was because that was right before. That was in, I think that was in BC.
It was in BC.
That was right before Wrath.
Well, and that was where they allowed you to essentially make the best items in the game, except for some of the legendaries, which is fine. Like Dragon Strike was relevant the entire fucking, and the two-handed one that stunned people. Had 3 different levels to it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dragon Strike had 3 different
levels.
Well,
like one of my real first purples in the early part of BC were making that tailored set of spell cloth.
Yeah.
And that was a good way for me to have gear to go do stuff. So no, it wasn't the best, but it was a great gateway.
I think there should be more. I think first off, crafting should be harder. It shouldn't just be able to go.
Crafting's really grindy in general.
It shouldn't just be able to go.
Yeah,
I'm going to run this dungeon, get 4,000 pieces of cloth, and then make the best blah 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 in the game. But at the same time, if you make it harder, you've got to give me more shit that shows my accomplishment. Give me a mount, or give me a cape if I'm a clothier or whatever. Or give me something like a badass helmet. You know, it may not be the best in the game, but it looks fucking cool.
Well, and that was kind of
Just
thing,
some
like
ornaments.
engineering. I used engineering a lot. You got the goggles, which were fucking cool. They were really, really good. And then you got an item level higher than them, and you never used them
boom,
again.
they're gone.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind
But
of
you could engineer a motorcycle.
And that was cool.
That was really
that was the
fucking
mount.
neat. Yeah.
Oh, there's like the flying carpet for that.
Yeah.
I guess the thing I like too, both this taking WoW and Skyrim, the things I do like, is that like some of those items in Skyrim you just would break down when you would craft or break them down, use some materials and sell them. Sometimes the selling would be worth more than that, or you'd craft them and make money. And the thing is, like for WoW,
Storm Herald, by the way. That was the fucking mace. I was thinking of it the whole time.
I don't remember that.
You can enchant, or like for my tailoring, I could buff certain items with only tailoring. So it's like you made enchanting
Now that was neat.
or tailoring valuable the whole time, because the only way you could do those certain buffs on certain items were having those abilities. Not to mention it made you like enchant stuff, it made you handy.
I think WoW did crafting well. I wish they would have
not perfect, but
I wish they would have let you do a little more in-game stuff, like make some like legendarily great items. And maybe they're starting to go that way now, which I don't know. That was my only knock.
They'd have to make it so hard to do where it maybe not as hard as getting a legendary, but like maybe 95%. So very few people could do it, but at least there'd be a pinnacle to achieve. The problem is you can grind your way to that.
Yeah.
You can't grind your way to a legendary.
Right.
Yeah. So great questions. Lots of them, but great questions. And real quick, we'll try to get into Tomas's questions real quick. A lot of games are being remastered. He uses like Age of Empires HD or the new Halo Anniversary. How do we feel about that? Do we think it's a money grab?
Yes.
Or could it be a good thing for somebody who hasn't played the game yet?
I would say both.
I mean, why don't you just put out an article that says, hey, this game was cool, remember that? I mean, you don't have to put out an exact HD replica for $50, $60 just to get somebody new to play the game. I don't think it's necessary.
Well,
I think it's silly. I think if anybody's an actual true gamer, they're going to want to look up what were the best games in the past and play them.
I do agree with that 100%. The only caveat is the fact that we this is a problem we view it as a problem is people put so much emphasis on graphics anymore. We're not those people, and we're older. And a lot of people are going to put emphasis on graphics. Some people, it takes them out of the immersion of the game to play, old blocky Halo. Now, if you brought it back the same mechanics, the same everything, but just made it look a little prettier, you're going to introduce people to that game that would have never seen it or have never cared to see it. And you could say, fuck those people, they don't care about it, so who cares? But it's kind of worth the experience, and it is a money grab, I agree. Well, but there's still work to be put in.
Sure, it's for making a profit, but here's the only statement I'll say. If the person wants to still play the old game and not do the money grab, let's go buy a fucking used copy of Halo. And Halo, I don't know how much that remastered one. I know that Age of Empires is like $20. It's that. Because I saw it on Steam. It's really pretty economical. So at this point, like, if say I had never played Age of Empires I was going to play right now, I'd probably spend the extra $5 or $10 and get the remastered one that's just going to look better. I agree wholeheartedly it's a money grab, but at the same token, it's not hurting anybody.
No, it's not hurting
If they want to
anybody.
make it, and if somebody wants to buy it, whatever. Me personally, I'm always going to buy the original. I want to play the original,
exactly,
not a sexed up version.
Well, and let me preface what I said with I don't look down on anybody that buys those because the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD remake, I'm getting ready to download that. Not because I have to, because I'm getting it for free, and why not?
Yeah.
But if you bought that, cool, whatever. Go with your nostalgia. I just think personally, the question was do I agree with it or do I want them to do it? The question was, is it a money grab? And 100% yes, it is.
Well, is it a money grab, and can it be good for gamers?
Sure, it can be good for gamers. I still think
we kind of agree with both points.
Yeah, it's a little back and forth, but I don't think it's necessary.
No, I don't think it is either. I think that there are times gamers probably get turned off by having to find, for example, maybe they don't own an original Xbox.
Yeah.
So how would they play Halo?
Well, and also, if you're going to do a remake, you better fucking do it right, because the fucking Baldur's Gate remake was an atrocity.
It was fucking terrible.
It was awful.
I'm trying to wrap this up here, but I did play the remake of the Final Fantasy II. They made it on iPad, or any tablet for that matter.
Oh, dude, the Final Fantasy Tactics one on fucking iPad? Fucking just balls terrible.
Really?
It's just, first off, the iPad is not meant to play. I got it when I worked.
Yeah.
And so all I had to do was fucking play that thing all damn day. And it just doesn't work. And it was really glitchy. And it was $17.
Oh, they were expensive. I did jailbreak my iPad at one point, so that's how I got
mine. Mine was too. I didn't pay for it.
No. Oh my god. Quit the podcast now. We have criminals in the midst.
But no,
this
like
might work
the
one.
Final Fantasy II one was actually pretty good. it was actually kind of neat because whenever you when a character died, you'd actually get like a token of their like death, and if you'd like be able to use like their ability on it, like, adding like abilities to other characters and that kind of stuff. And there was kind of some secrets with that.
So it was a legit change up.
Yeah, but the everything was 100% the same. All the spells, everything else. That was like really the only caveat, the only difference that I saw.
Well, kind of like this is a good example. Final Fantasy Anthologies, which was 2, 3, and 4. They redid that on PlayStation and they updated it all, you know, in kind of a similar way. Which was I own that and I actually enjoyed it. Real quick, lastly, one game company. You can play games forever.
I know
past, present, and future.
Nintendo.
I know where you're going already.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do.
What's
I think
my
so.
Guess, then?
Huh?
What's my guess then?
Koei.
No.
Oh wow.
I was actually probably say SquareSoft.
Yeah.
Because I mean that would open the library to all of Enix games, Square Enix. There's so many.
I just imagine all of the
I will say
hours that I put into
Nintendo,
Nintendo
yeah.
games. I just can't not say Nintendo.
I don't really have. I'm less brand loyal than you guys are. I think, but I think Nintendo's probably.
I wouldn't say Nintendo, but I'm just thinking like I guess I'm thinking of longevity.
Actually,
where I can play multiple
EA.
hours.
Just kidding.
Well,
You probably get more games than us.
That's true. Good questions, Tomas.
Yeah. Tomas. I'm going to talk like this for the rest of the podcast.
I bet you don't.
Keep it up.
I don't.
You know, like keep enunciating, being slow.
Oh, yeah. So remember when we said we were going to talk about DRM? We're going to talk about DRM.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That Drim.
Drizzed? No. DRM. For anybody who doesn't know, digital rights management. Basically, it's any kind of protection that's put on any piece of software that would try to prevent, or I'd say a better way, try to protect the person who created that medium. You'll see it on fucking video games, CDs, DVDs, even like fucking ebooks. PDFs have DRM on them. All kinds of software is protected, right?
Yes.
So this was my idea. So I want to know, first off, what do you guys think about it? Is it good or bad innately? And do the pros for the person it's protecting outweigh the cons for the person that it's fucking, or vice versa? And there's a bunch of different types of DRM.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about a bunch of different types. But first off, just your first initial...
If you don't mind me starting off here, I think, like anything, I think the inception of an idea, for the most part, this is intrinsically good. I think the original idea for DRM is probably like, hey, we don't want people to pirate my shit. You know, it's my shit that I'm doing. Let's try and keep it to mine, you know, and not let people hack it or crack it or whatever you want to say at this point. But I think it's kind of derailed a little from there.
Right.
I was kind of throwing that out for.
Well, it's become more of a nuisance now, just in the simple fact of all the some games people like Spore. Spore, for example, in 08 was the
big one.
Was the most downloaded game by far because the DRM had so many problems with the game that people were seeking out the hacked copy.
That Ubisoft is horrible at that.
Yeah, they backed off some of the things because they like to go to persistent online servers, which is a type of DRM, and it just has more problems because of the lag of it.
Right.
Rather than, I think, like a lot of games which aren't downloaded use a hardwire safe disk.
Right.
And they don't get the shit that some of those others do, even though that's more restrictive. But I guess how I feel about it, I actually think if it's more good or bad, I would probably vote for good, because, and I know people are like, oh my god, it's like the SOPA or the, you know, the Digital Millennium Act. It's like all this shit. End of the day, I think the inception of Napster.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. Like, that was the first time people thought, holy shit, they can just rip everything they want off.
Yeah.
This isn't like me taking a boombox to the radio and taping a song, or maybe even to VHS and all the fucking tedious that was to tape a movie.
Oh god.
It was an easy thing to do, and you're ripping off stuff quick.
Right.
And I usually use it to try out shit. Not to mention it took you like 20 minutes to download a fucking song.
Oh yeah. Back in the day.
Yeah, if I found it, I liked it, I bought it.
That was back when a 56K was an upgrade.
Exactly.
I had a
Yeah.
14.4.
You just had to make it work with the 30-second clip, you know?
Yeah.
The thing is, and this is why I would go to say that I think it's more good, it's like the vast majority of people are not like that. They're
No.
not out there trying a video game. They're not saying, oh, if I like this, I'll keep this. No, they're ripping it off.
Sure.
So the problem is they need to have some way to protect it. And there are people using the community. I know Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He did this thing where he did a show for a $5 free download. You could download the whole thing, and he had no DRM. Now, granted,
Those $5 free things.
yeah, well, I don't know why I said free downloads. A $5 download is DRM free, is what I meant to say.
The $5 free.
He was basically doing it as kind of like a test case study of, well, if I don't have any DRM and it's really cheap, nobody's going to pirate it. That's a terrible. There's no control sample. If you were a scientist, you would be fired.
It was a humongous success, though. He made
Yes.
his money back in like an hour or some shit like that.
But granted, that's one you're promoting an issue. People are going to be more soft to that. And if everybody did that, what would be the cost and change? So a long-winded answer, I think it is on the end of good. The problem is that it leaves open a loophole where then you get too restricted. You get anal. You become detrimental to your original product just to save $1. There has to be a happier place.
All right, well, here's my issue with DRM. I agree innately it's a good idea to protect the person who's creating the whatever, the software, the audio, the video, whatever. I think the problem is the consumer is the one that's getting fucked over, especially by companies like Ubisoft or companies that are going to have an always-on style DRM, in the fact that when I buy a game, these always-on servers work in the sense that when I buy a game, I get access to play it, right? The issue becomes that when I want to play that offline, one, I can't, which is already just a fucking ass. If I want to throw that on my laptop and play it on my laptop while I'm traveling to a hotel, I can't. Because I have to be always on for it to verify that I am who I say I am, right? So that's already one big thing against it. Two, when you play an always on, I've bought that game. I own that game, right? I gave you money, you give me goods. The problem with that is that those game servers work to stop pirating by only releasing the content as you reach it. So the server installs the content as you're playing the game, and
Hence the lag.
Yeah, hence the problems with the server connectivity and getting stuck in certain levels and not being able to progress in games. And that's a terrible business practice. If I give you $1 for a soda, and you pour a quarter of your soda out in my glass, and I drink that, and I don't get the next bit of the drink until I'm done with that part.
I'm just rationing. You
That is-
drinks too fast.
You know what I mean? That's
Don't do that shit to me. I drink fucking fast.
Yeah, you just drown them. I economize my drinks. I'm just
Why
trying to help you out.
like what name? Like you go to a pizza place. Can I get a large pizza? Sure. And they give it to you a slice at a time.
It'd be fresh.
What the fuck?
Well, and I don't know. I just lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Not gonna
okay.
lie. Oh yeah,
it's
I actually
good
had a
point, bro. Good point.
had a good point. I was
You
like,
know,
fuck it.
and I agree completely. I think persistent online was a problem. And honestly, when most people consider DRM, they're going with a computer.
Sure.
Because the DRM typically on a console is just a safe disk. And
That just prevents. So for anybody who doesn't know what safe disking is, it just prevents the copying of the disk
correct.
itself.
Yes. So it's a very non-intrusive DRM, but it's a very safe one for the most part.
Sure.
And the problem is with computers, granted, you usually say you're buying goods. A lot of times you're just paying for the licensing to be able to view the game. You're not actually paying for any kind of hardware.
According to Steam's, EULA
They
or
hide
whatever.
it. People click I accept on all those things online, and they hide all kinds of things on there.
It's
Not
one
saying
of
you
those-
should read them all, but
yeah,
you
but
know.
every company does that.
Sure.
They hide all kinds of shit in there.
Except
not
that's
stupid
most
anyway,
console
though.
games, you're not accepting anything. You bought a hardware thing.
Exactly.
A console's a different world. The DRM's honestly done better on a console.
The day that Valve takes one of my games back from me just because they can will be the day that I never buy another game through Steam.
And they won't ever do that.
And they won't
let's
ever
be-
do it. It's just part of the
Yo,
red
of
tape.
course. I'm just saying that in general, you have a less intrusive way of doing it on a console.
Sure. And to be fair, if I wanted to buy a hard copy of the PC game, I could do that too.
Sure.
I just prefer the ease
Maybe.
of downloading and installing it. No, I could.
I know, but like where?
all the big games.
Yeah,
Amazon.
I know. I'm
Or
just.
any fucking.
I know. I'm just being.
Just, I
facetious.
guess a problem I don't like, and you mentioned it kind of vaguely when you're talking about taking your laptop.
Yeah.
My thing is a lot of them will have limited number installs.
Three.
That fucking
Yeah.
annoys me.
Most of the time when you have limited installs, 3 installs.
But and the thing is, it's any software. Like we always mention other hobbies. In passing of mine being Warhammer, there's a program that you use to build your army list, and you have to request them, and they have to verify it. It takes like
Wow.
72 hours just to get any. So like if you want to say for example, you're not going to take your fucking desktop to a tournament.
You're not?
No.
You should.
You're probably going to take like an iPad or
Right.
your phone or
Or
your
a laptop,
laptop.
yeah.
You have to like get special. It is a pain in the
And
ass
that's
to get
fucking
another copy.
stupid.
Dude, I gave you $30.
Give me my fucking
Give me-
software.
Exactly. All I want is to be able to. Now I know. Well, we want you to load it up to this PC and this PC and this PC.
Who gives a... I do what the fuck I want to do with the software I bought, you cock.
Well, that's
but
not
the
completely
play-
true. You
but
couldn't
yeah,
like
you
buy a
could just-
movie and broadcast it for free.
No, I'm not broadcasting software.
But I'm saying if you just like decide to give it to me and give it to Andrew and give it to your cousin and this guy and that guy.
Okay?
Well, but
It's like buying a DVD.
That's just illegal though.
If I buy the DVD, I'm not allowed to loan it to you so you can watch it?
Loan it, yes. If I were to take it and burn it and permanently have it, same way you were, the DVD is a singular item that only one of us can possess.
Yeah.
That program we both can possess at the exact same time and use.
I understand how it works and I understand it's illegal, but it doesn't matter. It's my choice to do what I want with it. If I choose to do something illegal with it, that's my choice. I choose the option to get in trouble for that.
The whole idea, I mean, kind of going back to that, the whole idea of DRM, like I said, I think it started off with good intentions. It's just it's the case as like with everything else. There's a handful of people running it for everybody. If everybody would just be honest and play by the rules, it wouldn't be a big deal. DRM would probably be very less intrusive than it is currently. But everybody it's just the nature of
Well,
people
now
in
we've
general.
got a chicken or an egg argument because a lot of times games like Spore, O'Brien brought up earlier,
Which
those
I
were
was sad because I like
Everybody was really excited about that game.
Well, it's just Will Wright is a badass.
but the problem with Spore is that the DRM was so strict and so terrible that it was the most downloaded game at that time, or the most downloaded torrent period.
Oh, by far.
At that time,
For like a
because
whole year.
of the DRM. So was the DRM the problem, and that's why people were pirating, or is piracy the problem, and that's why there's DRM? Because it comes hand in hand.
Well, I think there's a lot of funny things, a lot of games that are like you're thinking, oh, that game's so popular, and it's not even close. Like your Assassin's Creed, those aren't even close to the most downloaded. No, you think they would be.
Right.
I think it's partly too hype and popularity. People go out, fanboys, they go out and they buy those games.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. Usually you're going to pirate things you're not sure are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You try them out.
Fair.
The problem is, at that point, once you already own it, you're like, this works really well. I should
Right.
go spend $50 and install this. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
I agree with you. I think the Spore was going to be downloaded anyways. The rate it was downloaded was completely causal to the shitty DRM.
Right.
And that's the DRM that that's the problem. When you make it inoperable, wow, you're protecting your investment so that nobody will fucking buy it.
Right.
So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot at that point.
And I'm okay with DRM online, always on DRM, stuff like that when I'm playing an online game.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
should
that's-
not be forced into
Like
it
you're playing
always
WoW
on.
or something. I have
Yeah.
to play online,
Yeah,
so who cares?
Or playing on, this isn't DRM, but playing on Counter-Strike servers.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Valve anti-cheat that's always watching your computer to make sure you're not cheating.
Fine
It's
with
not,
that.
Not DRM, but it's a similar thing. It's always watching, always making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fine with that because I'm in an online environment. Everybody needs to know that you paid $30 for this game or $60 for this game. So did I. We're on an even playing ground. I don't have anything creepy installed on mine to fuck with you and all that kind of stuff. I get that. I'm cool with that. But if you give me a game like Skyrim or any one of those games that is a single player,
That's
non-multiplayer
absolutely
experience,
ridiculous.
do not limit me to your server just to make sure that I have a legit copy. Fuck you. I bought the goddamn game. Don't make me go through your
Just use the
DRM
key.
checks.
Yes. And you can say, well, those are less secure. And I get that. But it's kind of like, okay, right now, do you have any bars on your window?
No.
If somebody really wanted to rob us right now or come in and hijack us, they just break your window.
Yeah, I had to think about what you're asking.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like, your door, it's locked, that's great and all. There's a window fucking
But if they
5 feet
if
from
they really
it.
want to break in,
They'll
they would
get
do
in,
it.
they'll get in.
Right.
The point is, your locks are a deterrent. You're making it more difficult.
Yeah.
But you're not having
You're not
network
preventing
shutters. So that there's a happy medium. And the problem is when you go so far on the security level, you're just hurting it. You're actually encouraging more people to go around it because of the pain in the ass.
Right.
But at the same time, you wouldn't leave your door just standing open. You know it's a nice neighborhood. You wouldn't just leave your door standing open every time you left. You're
No.
not retarded.
No.
There's a happy point in the middle, and I think that's the problem that really exists.
Right. Where is that happy medium?
Correct.
And why are you going so far past it?
And I think if you could, like, if you go too far either way on the happy medium, you're going to piss off people who are going to buy your game anyway.
Well, of
It's like
course.
people who are going to buy your game, they're like, oh, cool, I get my, single player experience Skyrim. And then they may not even give a fuck about DRM in general. They just want to play their game. But then you're adding extra loopholes or servers they have to register on or accounts that they have to register. It's like, dude,
software I have to install.
exactly. And it may be, some of your software may be innocent enough. A, it's taking up space on my computer.
Yep.
And B, like I said, it may be innocent enough, but maybe it's not. And maybe I'm just a guy who doesn't know anything about that. Or maybe I just don't care. I just want to play Skyrim.
I can't stand. I hated Steam when it came out. I hated it. Now it's turned into like iTunes for my games.
Pretty much.
I use it not because I have to, but because it's easy.
Yes.
But when it first came out, it was fucking terrible because you were making me play your games through this software. And every single person in the Counter-Strike community was in uproars about it. It was awful. I hate Origin. I hate Uplay or whatever the fucking Ubisoft one is.
I think it's Uplay because I had to register for
And
that
Ubisoft
for
is,
something.
and theirs is bad.
Oh, yeah. Ubisoft is by far the leading company in shit DRM practice right now. It's terrible. I stopped playing a lot of their games, or stopped buying a lot of their games because I hate the fact that I can pre-order it in Steam, but I have to download it separately and install it into Uplay to play it, or Origin for that matter. I find that to be just an atrocity of a practice.
So
Why are
what?
you doing that?
Because I was a Battlefield. Is that on that's Origin or is that Uplay? I would forget. That's
Origin.
Origin. Like that was the first time I bought Battlefield 4 in
Far Cry 3 was on Uplay. Assassin's Creeds are on Uplay, I think.
and it was just I had to go through the Origin setup. I'm like, what the fuck is Origin? I haven't ever dealt with it before. And it was it a big deal? No, but it was fucking annoying.
Well,
and,
especially imagine
Not
if you were
necessary. That's the issue.
that's the thing is just let me fucking play the game.
and imagine if you were 50. If my dad tried to buy Battlefield 4
Well,
right now,
your dad does play.
he plays video games. He doesn't have a computer good enough to play computer games, but if he did, he'd be like, he'd call me. Am I supposed to be installing Origin? What is that? And I'd be like, yeah, Dad, that's fine. But if somebody his age doesn't know shit about software or why it's installing, what it actually is, you really think that he's going to have to take the time to Google Origin or call his son to make sure he's not downloading something that's going to fuck his computer up? I mean, it's intrusive. I shouldn't have to do it. That's the issue.
No. Well, that was weird. Because we all saying like, well, yeah, it's intrusive. In culmination.
Okay, I want to bring one thing up real quick. What do you guys feel about alpha or beta testers, pre-orders, whatever? You're paying a company before a game's even launched. You're giving them money before a product is even released. How would you feel if alpha testers or like DayZ or whatever, everybody's playing it in alpha right now. Say it moves into beta within the next couple months and say it releases by the end of this year. How would you feel if all of the people that paid to play in alpha or pre-order the game for whatever time period received a DRM free copy of it or something like that?
I mean, I'm fine with that's the company's what their will is. If they want to do that, that's completely fine with me. But I'm not against it if they don't want to do that. At the end of the day, that's fine. I'm saying, I guess you're rewarding a person, but I guess if I were those beta testers, I would much prefer half price if I'm testing for you.
Right.
Or if I don't like your game, I get a refund if I'm testing for you. I would much prefer that than a minor, for most games, a minor inconvenience. I would rather have a minor inconvenience and my money back in hand.
What if it's an Ubisoft game and it's a major inconvenience? I mean, still,
then I'm probably maybe going to look around the internet for maybe another copy that could pop out. Yeah. No,
So you're being forced to pirate because of DRM practice. Again, this is what we're talking about.
no, I really have yet to actually encounter a game I've had to do that to.
Watch Dogs. That's huge right now.
Mm.
It's people are playing Watch Dogs on pirated copies who have already bought the game. They're now pirating it just because they're trying to avoid the DRM.
How about the DRM on Watch Dogs?
It's Ubisoft. That's how bad it is.
Why? I guess my point about that is, okay, most of the time it's a product key. You have it. You know, why don't you just register the IP address? As long as they're paying from playing from that IP address, who gives a fuck?
So, then my question is, what if I go to a hotel? Now I'm not on that same IP address.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying you could relax the DRM in that case. Because the idea is you're just trying to prove that I actually have this copy of the game in my hands. I've paid for it. I've paid my money. I want to play the game.
Right.
There's got to be a way for them just to go, because you have to ease the reins up, in my opinion.
The
You
problem
can't
is,
watch everybody all the time.
here's the issue with those types of DRMs. They don't think it's safe enough. Because if I have a key or a serial number or something like that, that is easily replicated by keygens. Easily. Once somebody figures out the algorithm, somebody figures out the patterns of the keygens, it's easy to replicate.
Yeah,
especially with a cracked game. I can put in 1111111, and that's my serial number, and I get to play the game. So these companies are looking for a way to monitor it and to control it without you having to just have a key and that's it. Because I could, if I bought Counter-Strike, the old Counter-Strike 1.6, you couldn't use my game. The key's already been used. That, in a sense, is DRM.
Yeah,
but I'm
is.
fine with that. You know why? Because I bought it. I have to put in a number to prove that I bought it, and I get to play my game. That's fine with me. I don't mind proving to you that I bought it.
And in a way, that does kind of fix the issue with lending it out to all your friends. Especially in an online game, obviously, because if you give O'Brien a copy of the game, yeah, he can install it on his computer. But then if he tries to play online, this can go, oh wait a second, this key's already in use. And that would be a way that I think they could do that without being completely, DRMing your face off.
Well, I mean, this also all leads into, like, just using a bigger picture term like SOPA.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, how people feel about, privacy online, piracy online, everything online. It's tough to keep intellectual property safe.
It is, but I hate the fact that piracy is considered theft, because it's not theft. If you have a car and I steal it, you no longer have a car. If you have a video game and I copy it, you still have a video game.
True.
So it is theft in a sense, but it's not actually theft.
It's theft according to, like, law and United. You're like, because that little disclaimer in front of every single damn movie.
You wouldn't download a car.
Well, not that cheesy commercial, but it's an Interpol thing. And that's a United Nations thing. Your intellectual property theft is theft.
Right.
I'm not saying I disagree wholeheartedly. I understand the point you're making. But at that point, if you could replicate anything easily, you'd say, oh, I'd never buy anything. And I get that, but then, it'd have anarchy. Intellectual property, it is theft. It is theft.
To me, it's like calling, starting my own garden theft because I'm no longer buying vegetables from a grocery store. I mean,
but you're not copying those vegetables. You're creating. It's like that would be like saying I don't want to listen to your music because I make my own music.
Yeah,
that's a different thing.
It's true.
You're not using that same music in any way, shape, or form or fashion. You're creating your own completely individual new music.
I guess you're right, but I mean,
and I understand what you're saying.
It just seems. I don't get me wrong. I have IP and I watch the internet for people stealing it and people taking my ideas, and I've had to do copyright strikes and stuff before.
So if you did that, like for your copyright stuff, all your stuff, if somebody could do that and everybody could do that, now I'm sure all your viewers wouldn't because they all just love you.
But people already do.
But I'm just saying if they could do it to a level where it was very, very easy, then you would have to go get a normal job.
Yeah.
And as I'm saying, it would just eliminate you doing this. So there has to be protection in that respect. I'm just saying it is theft in that sense.
But the downloaded copies don't ever even come close to scratching the surface of the copies that are purchased.
No, because it's difficult.
And only our generation is pirating.
Well, of course.
I mean,
the younger kids,
it's going to be easier and easier for them to do.
Easier.
And then,
sure.
and I agree with you.
And yours isn't a great case because it's not the same concept. Yeah. I'm just saying that if it were, let's just say that it was extremely easy to pirate and nobody tracked and nobody cared, they'd go through the roof.
It is extremely easy to pirate, though.
It is. And you can get caught. Like Cuddy.
Got that letter from his
cable provider.
Yeah,
they found out where he was going and said, hey, you did it again, we'll shut all your cable off and turn you in.
Okay. So I go to different cable providers. I'm not going to do that.
No, but it's not that we have two cable providers here.
Understandable, but if one is going to do that and one's not.
You never know if the other one would. You see what I'm saying.
Yeah, and not to defend DRM, but you mentioned that
don't apologize for defending
it.
I'm
not defending. I'm defending the idea of DRM, but I'm not defending. It's better in theory than it is in practice. I guess is what I'm defending. But the thing is, you mentioned that there are so many copies of games. It doesn't even scratch the surface of total games produced as versus downloaded. Well, we speak very broad in terms of companies making money on games and games that be profitable. Well, 1%, 2%, 3% of games, if those are downloaded as opposed to purchased, that may not be a big deal as, oh God, well, they're still getting 97% of the revenue. That's something companies have to plan for in their budgets. Like, okay, we're going to sell 100% of the games we've allotted. Then somebody has to go, no, wait, we have a margin of error of 3 to 5% or whatever it is of games that are going to be downloaded, and that's going to affect. I mean, I'm not saying people are going to lose their jobs or whatever.
But it affects stock prices, and stock prices affect shareholders, and shareholders are what control the company.
Well, also understand that I deal with that too.
Yes.
Ad block. If you 30% of my views are ad blocked, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a form that I've got to deal with. I've got to understand that 30% of my views are going to be non-paid views, which is terrible for me, but I use ad block for certain websites too. So I can't, I don't use it for like YouTube and stuff because that's my livelihood. But I think that there is also a way to take advantage of a user who's going to a website and you've got 40,000 ads.
Oh yes, dude.
I use ad block for my protection and pop-ups and hiding shit that I might accidentally click on.
All of
and
a
things
sudden,
like
hey,
that.
is it okay for me to make changes to your computer?
But the problem that people don't the problem that I have with ad block is that people don't know that you can whitelist websites. You can whitelist websites like YouTube and things like that people actually they're making money off of. You can, your favorite websites that you visit often, like Twitch, YouTube, or you have a nutrition website that you visit often that's got ads on the side. Those ads are those people's livelihood. They're probably making money off of that website. Disable it for the people that you're visiting on a constant basis. Use it to protect yourself from sites like torrent sites or porn sites or sites that you're going to have pop-ups on the side, that you might accidentally click on,
But that honestly, that kind of goes back to the crux of our overall argument, is the fact that, if you're trying to prevent the people who are trying to do something that is helpful for people in general, great. Like you said, whitelist those websites. But now you're getting 30-second ads that are... It is a small inconvenience, but it is an inconvenience. It's kind of like buying a game.
And people are lazy.
But here's the problem, though. It's an inconvenience for a free piece of entertainment. You're paying for cable and you still watch advertisements. Yeah. Why can you not watch advertisements on a 30-minute video that you're not paying to see?
Because my time's more important and I don't care about it.
Your time's more important than my money.
That's correct. And that's the whole point of DRM in general.
Exactly, 100%.
Why should I pay $50? Fuck you, I can get it for free.
Well, then you're a bad person.
Yes, and that's the sad thing. You have to protect yourself from bad people. My thing and I'm not saying I'm defending it, but I guess I don't really have a problem with DRM. I do not like persistent online DRM because it is almost... It's like, hey, I can cure your AIDS. See this shotgun? I have to shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't have AIDS. I'm also dead.
Right.
If the cure is...
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
It seems like a good solution.
No. If the
it's a final
you
solution.
never heard the term, the cure is worse than the disease?
Yeah.
That was what that analogy was. The cure is way worse than the disease itself.
Right.
And in that case, I feel the persistent...
So you're saying DRM in that sense is worse than
It's worse. Yes,
fixing.
you're saving this safety, but couldn't you let maybe an extra 5% pirate and then make the other 95% of people happy rather than catching 3% more pirating people and making 50% miserable, and then before you know it...
It's that line that we're talking about towing the entire time.
There's no way to scientifically prove without a real study into it, but I would wonder, taking Spore as an example, did the piracy go up so much more than it would have previously because of your DRM?
There's no question that was the case.
And that's not a good one because that one was notoriously bad.
Right.
Your average game that's persistent online, what's the percentage? And what does that affect their profit? Are they losing or making money by doing it? Because at the end of the day, if they're making even $1 more by doing it, they're going to continue to do it.
You want to be safe? Go back to cartridges. How many cartridges did we pirate back in the day?
Exactly. Honestly, go back to CDs.
Yeah.
I mean, if your computers...
Yeah, but CDs can be copied, and I know you can say what you want about the
safe disc.
The safe disc, but
it could be... it's
broken easily.
Oh, sure. But at least it takes enough effort to know what you're doing. It's going to decrease the ease of it. Back when you remember you could rent like an Xbox game or a PlayStation game, you just go home and do the CD burner. Now you go to Blockbuster, rent a bunch of games. Yeah, now I'm just going to burn them all.
Yeah,
it's a little bit tougher. So at least you're preventing that.
But I will say, not only is it tougher game wise, it's also it's my time, which we've already established. My time is very important and way more important than anything that has to do with anybody else. 2. Now I've got to get a mod for my Xbox or my PlayStation. I've got to actually have it installed. I got to take it to somebody who knows what it's doing or run the risk of fucking up my Xbox.
I got to pay for those damn discs.
I got to break the seal, fuck up my warranty if I still have one.
There's a lot of risk involved and a lot of pain in the ass.
Because I know a lot of people who had hacked Xboxes or modded Xbox.
I have one in my closet right there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, I got all these gigs and I can do these games and it's cool, but you have to do a whole lot of effort.
Yeah, it's a pain in the dick.
So I think that's the way to be. Because if you bought a normal game, it is not affect you at all, their DRM.
Right.
No, not an iota.
Right.
So why not go that route? Now with computer games, people are like, well, I can't go buy a computer game easily. Like, you used to do it at GameStop. They had all the big games.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I made the joke about not being able to find
you
the computer
have to
games.
go online because you can't get it right then.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
The problem is computer games need to just... Granted, it's not say niche, but it's not console level sales. Right. So at that point, you need to get back in the stores. If you're going to make an easy solution, get back in stores, make normal, hard media-based games, go back to normal DRM. Everybody's happy.
And here's another. We'll go back just one more time, real quick. What do you think about hardware-based DRM? Softwares like certain music production softwares require you have a USB key and plug it into the computer to be able to activate the software, and you have to do that every single time. Problem is, I lost my key. Well, sorry, you're fucked out of this $800 piece of software you just paid for.
And that's drastic. The problem is, those are probably the most pirated things.
You know why? The professional like DJs, like Skrillex, the big electronic guys that are going to go on tour, they pirate that shit. They buy it, but they pirate it and put it on their computer anyway. They have the copy. They have the key. It's all purchased. It's all legit. But they go to shows with the pirated copies.
I remember actually kind of a
Why?
Because they don't want to have to run the risk of losing their key and the show just goes away. Can you imagine me in the middle of the show? Actually, fucking, there was a...
I'd probably an ecstasy of the light show or something.
God, who was it? There was a guy, a fairly popular electronic style guy. Fuck. I can't remember his name. While he was doing his show, he was like dancing around or something. He hit his USB key that had all of his shit on it that the show was playing on, and he was like, shit, and just walked off the stage. Just stopped the show. That's why they're avoiding that hardware DRM stuff.
It's okay, a robot could do this job.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like the DJs at the fucking like.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm going to a concert so a guy can go, you know,
like hit buttons. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
I'll do that shit. Cool.
Anyway,
actually, kind of an interesting story though. My high school, whenever because they were like the first year they were essentially in existence. They were trying to run a lot of different programs, and they ran a lot of their stuff on Mac.
Yep.
And for my I was like, I forget what class it was. It was a multimedia creations class. It was kind of a new class that they were trying to figure out. Well, I don't know if they had a legitimate copy of Final Cut Pro.
Well, they probably did.
They literally like we need to install Final Cut Pro on that computer. So they had like the computer nerds like, okay, cool, we'll crack that and we'll get that for you. So like we had 20 Macs with Final Cut Pro on it. That was like
why spend $10,000 when you could get it for free?
And that's the problem once again. Like we go back to that. If you make it so difficult on your DRM level, then it just becomes easier. That's the real thing. Which is easier? If it's that's why I think honestly DVDs and movies are a lot less pirated. I don't download them like I used to because I have Netflix or I have this or like
I pay for Netflix. I pay for Hulu.
Or if you want to go rent some, go to $1 and get a Redbox. Yeah. It's so cheap during the game and they're everywhere now. So now like my comfort level is like, well, this is actually a little bit easier. I'm willing to spend money if it saves me time. But I'm like, wow, I'm going to have to go pay $30 for a DVD and go find a fucking store. Yeah, how's it going there, torrent?
Well, the thing about Hulu is I can't stand, it's just like cable. I can't stand paying for a service I have to watch commercials on. That's fucking terrible. And their whole argument is, oh, but that's how we keep the price down for your subscription.
No.
I don't fucking care. Give me a more expensive subscription option so I don't have to watch commercials.
Yeah, and I wonder if cable could do that. The only problem is, and this is just, once again, it would have to be astronomical.
Well, now it would. Because the cable companies are used to their money.
Well, no, the money isn't, the advertisement dollars is partly that, but really your show and your ratings is how they, it's a chain of things.
Commercials used to be on the main channels because you were getting those channels for free. That's how they paid for the channels. Now you're paying for it and you're still watching commercials.
Yeah, well,
it's because it's just like raising the prices on video games. People got used to it and now it's just a thing. Yeah. They didn't have to go that path. They did it because they could.
Well, yeah.
And that's what the DRM companies are doing. They're doing it because they know you're going to buy their games anyway. It's just like EA. They can be the shittiest company in the world they want to be, but they know you're going to buy the next copy of Madden.
It started off like a good idea, and then like, wait a second, we can get away with this. So let's sneak every single thing else in there that we can.
Yeah. Anyway, we went way long-winded on that.
Yeah.
That was pretty controversial, though. We all had different inputs to make. So, long story short, to wrap it all up, DRM we think is a good thing. We want to protect the companies. People like myself, as a person who has an IP, need to be protected.
Because they don't make money, we don't get games.
They don't make money, we don't get games. They don't make money, they go bankrupt. The world collapses. All kinds of shit happens. Yeah.
Anarchy.
Apocalypse Now or some shit like that. I don't know. But at the same time...
That's a Vietnam War movie, but I like it.
But at the same time, your DRM can't protect you to the point where you're making it shitty for the customers who are keeping you in business. We want you to stay in business. We want your DRM to protect you enough to keep you in business, but it can't be shitty enough to where you're going to not have customers anymore.
Things should be difficult for the people trying to pirate the game, not difficult for the people who are legitimately buying the game.
I shouldn't have to buy a copy and pirate it just to feel like I'm a good person, but have a copy that's going to work. Word. News time?
It is news time.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we need that. Get that sound in their stats.
You edit it, motherfucker.
Okay, I'll come in. I will find that. I will make that sound, and I will just edit that shit in. I'm not gonna do that.
No,
I don't think so.
So first thing off in the news, not really news, but another game.
On to the lightning round.
Yeah. I guess the way that came out, that means that's
it's like $5 free stuff.
$5 free. No, I guess it's news in the fact that it's a game that's been in beta for a while, starting to actually come out. I forget the actual release date, but Wildstar.
Yeah.
I would just kind of like to discuss what you guys think of Wildstar coming out. Very kind of not kiddie in a way MMO, but it's got a very cartoon. Doesn't take it
stylized. It is.
It doesn't take itself super seriously. You get a couple like naughty words in there, like ass and hell and stuff like that.
We gotta stop. You can't say that on air.
That's offensive.
God, can we go back and delete every single podcast we have then? Because I think if ass or hell is the
I don't remember us really cursing.
Well, speaking of which, by the way, this is our 20th episode.
Is this?
Yeah.
Really?
The big 2-0.
Well.
We're growing up so fast.
Hi, Tachi.
What?
20.
Oh.
Like when you turn 20, it's not actually 20.
It's like the magic wand.
What does magic wand?
Yeah, what does magic wand have anything to do with it? But no, the game looks neat. There's a lot of hype around it. We've got a couple friends and a lot of people who are in our circle with Smite are starting to kind of play it and get in on it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think, or what have you heard, or what do you think is? Do you think? I mean, I'm not going to put out the question. Is it going to be the WoW killer? Because that's a fucking stupid question.
I'm tired of fucking hearing that.
In fairness, most of what I've heard is what a little bit I've read, and then of course what Andy said.
Yeah. Andy is kind of our conduit for Wildstar everything.
And he plays a lot of WoW. He is enamored with it, man.
I tell you, he messaged me on Skype a couple days ago.
I'm Andy, and this is Wildstar.
I can't tell he is deep-throating his microphone.
Yeah, right now. By the sound, actually, you can see the peaks
sound
there.
You realize anytime Andy says he likes something, we say that he sucks its dick.
Exactly.
Like,
he's
he can't just be...
He's like, did I say that about Beautiful Joe?
He can't just like something without him sucking his dick. Anyway.
That could be our new running joke.
Yeah,
he does really like Wildstar.
Yeah, I just have zero interest. He messaged me on Skype the other day, and he goes, "Hey, you have any interest at all in playing Wildstar?" And all I said was, "Nope."
Well, he sent a key to me, and he was talking to me, and I'm actually, if he's listening, I'm sure hopefully he will listen to this, I'm going to actually give it a shot.
Yeah?
He seems really into it, and, I miss those times playing. He gave another guy I know the key, and I'm like, you know what?
A beta key or a...
No, it's not a beta key anymore. It's like a free trial key.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if I go and check it out, at least I have the knowledge of the game, I'm thinking I'm going to give it a shot. Partly just, and not to give him credit, partly is because of his enthusiasm.
Sure.
He really... Because he was talking about some dungeon he was in now, and even like level 15, all the strategy of it, and having to think and wipe. And I don't know what level 15 is. I
played a little bit of it when it was in beta, and he came over and showed me some stuff. But there was some different mechanics, some different strategy that looked a little bit different. It was familiar enough overall to where your typical MMO player, given MMOs aren't usually too in-depth.
It's hard to break that,
it really is, unless you're
wheel.
like EVE Online or something stupid like that, where you got to play for 6 months before you figure out the basic commands. But
FQ start or something.
But no, it really seems like it's going to be. It has the potential to have some staying power. I don't know how much it will actually have, but it seems different enough to where it'll pull in some new people. But it's also familiar enough to where your traditional MMO players, maybe if they're getting bored of WoW or maybe trying to floating around in the MMO sphere.
And it looks close enough to WoW,
sure,
to make it an easy transition for those who like the WoW graphics.
And I've seen other people comment. Like Facebook or things like that, who've also commented they like it. So it's not just Andy. I've seen other people mention. So at least it's got enough word of mouth that some people out there.
I've not heard anybody take a big steaming shit on it yet.
I have yet.
Let's put it this way. If all my friends play it, I'll probably play it. Just because I do miss the MMO. I bought the Elder Scrolls Online because 1, it was an Elder Scrolls game, and 2, I miss MMOs. Unfortunately, it just didn't work. The in-game, whatever you want to call it, I lost interest in it. If I can find a game that will allow me to play it and allow me to level up and allow me to play with my friends and allow me to experience that nostalgia that I had with the WoW experience, then I'm all for it. I'll play it.
And a different topic, but that's a difference in my opinion when it comes to RPGs for MMORPGs and RPGs. RPGs are all about the climb.
Right.
And then
it's the climb.
Yeah. MMOs are all about the plateau. It is all about the peak.
Yeah.
It is what's that end game.
Yeah.
I've got up there. I've grown through it. Now what happens?
That's what gives you the staying power. You need to have a good climb.
You have to have
a good climb, but really, if you can grind through that climb and you have an amazing late game or an amazing end game, then
that's what it is.
If Elder Scrolls Online would have been, you get to level 50, that's it. This whole fucking veteran ranks, that ruined it. Because I don't want to, I hit max level. I'm not getting any new skills. I'm not getting any better. I'm just grinding shit out. And I'm sorry.
For what?
I'm not going to pay you $15 a month to just grind through quests that I've already done in a different zone. It's the same shit, just on repeat. So you got to give me a max level and let that be the max level. Don't give me a max level and then have veteran rank, blah, 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 bullshit, just for me to experience your other storylines.
And it's a risky thing for them because at the end of the day, their format of game is not as easy to do in an MMO as the others.
I'm telling you, though, they did an amazing job of it. As much as the shit as I've been taking on it lately.
I'm talking about the in-game aspect of it.
As much as the shit as I've been taking on it lately, the original first 45, 46 levels
are really fun.
Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. One of the best experiences I've had in recent gaming. The problem is, I flatlined as soon as I hit rank 50. I was like, no, I'm done. Nope. Not fucking doing it. I can't. It was terrible. But anyway, long story short, I'll play Wildstar if everybody else does.
If you guys can't tell, we're very passionate about MMOs overall.
We like
MMOs. It's a very
format.
And it's a good topic, too.
It's the only format that gives me an opportunity to play a co-op RPG, basically.
Well, like, you talk about, like, always keeping in touch with people, like Facebook birthdays.
Conway and...
or like Socio Nick.
Yeah,
Nick, he
Conway
messaged
Nick.
me. He's like, hey, how's it going? We chatted for a second. It's like, I
met him through WoW.
Wow.
He lives in fucking Oklahoma or something.
Yeah, it's not that we really keep in touch with each other's lives, but it's like, oh, hey, that guy, or you chat, or you say hi. Just, you meet people, and you used to play with them, and you not say friends, as much friends you get on the internet, but you don't have that in any other format of game. Exactly.
It's just like
MMOs only.
It's just like seeing somebody that you were friendly with in high school out at a bar or something. You're like, oh, fuck, it's that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're excited for a second until you realize they're a douchebag. You're like, fuck, go away from me.
Fuck you, I didn't like you back then, you cocksucker.
But it's that same feeling.
Anyway, on to the news, though.
Yeah?
We got
Is it actually news, or is it news but not news?
It's news-ish.
News-ish. That's the new segment.
It's news-ish.
It's the news-ish.
So, apparently, Sony, they're going to put out a bundle. I know Sony we've already got like
this
so many.
Is bad. This is starting off bad.
Sony is going to put out a bundle with the PS4 and the Vita there.
Well, I'm excited.
Oh, I know. I can see your boner from here.
Living La Vida Loca. God damn it.
That's all I got.
That just killed the news segment.
Anyway.
But anyway, they're going to put out, I guess it's been leaked through Amazon, France, Twitter.
Amazon France, it was
Best
somebody's
Buy,
Best Buy ad. They took a picture of it on
something.
Twitter, some shit like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Essentially, they're putting out a bundle with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita together, trying to co-op them into, obviously trying to hype the popularity of the Vita based on the PlayStation 4. What do you guys think? Good idea, bad idea? Do you think, necessary? What?
Can I say it doesn't matter at all?
No, when it first came out, the Vita's first commercials were actually like, oh, here's the Vita, and now I'm loading up this game and taking it with me. It's
a cool idea.
It's a neat idea. That's what it is in theory. The problem is, although the Vita sold better, and they keep saying, oh, it's selling better, but it's a primary function of those things. It's not actually selling better. It's not really doing anything in the handheld market. It just doesn't fucking matter. You already know the price is a big deal.
Yeah.
You're hitting me with, after tax, well over a $600 price tag.
And that was the low price tag. The one that was leaked on Amazon France was like $720 or something.
Yeah, that's just too much. Because you're not going to get a person who already has a PlayStation, so you're trying to get a new consumer.
Right.
Wow, I can use an Xbox One who's coming down in price, so I can go get fucking this and get raped. Now, you could say I don't want my Vita, but then what are you doing the bundle for?
Right.
Now,
I guess you could sell it for full price.
And maybe come out a little ahead. But that's getting back to our problem. It's like it's becoming more difficult than
the fucking price of the PlayStation 4. What's the point?
Because I'm adding value by taking $30 off.
You're not adding fucking value.
I know, I'm using air quotes right now.
I think it's an interesting way to go about it. Now here, I don't think it's risky. Risky's too big of a word for this, but...
It's not risky because it's an optional bundle.
Well, I know it's not, but it's the
risk. On store shelves, it looks bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's the risk involved is the fact that they need to ship this realistically. Now, if they're a smart company, which, despite our, meh for Sony, they're pretty smart overall. But if they ship a whole bunch of shit out here, being like, oh my god, this is gonna sell all over the place, they're fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
You need to ship very limited quantities. Give each store, if you give a decent sized Best Buy 5 or 10 of them and replenish them as needed, then I think you can be successful with it. But you need to have realistic, successful goals, realistic expectations for this product, as opposed to going, fuck yeah, everyone's gonna spend $800 on this bundle of mediocrity.
I guess I just don't get it. Not
at all.
It
makes sense if Nintendo did it.
Yeah.
If Nintendo would release a new badass fucking DS, the problem is it'd have to release it like some kind of special edition one only with the Wii U. So you'd be like, oh god, I want that.
I have to get that.
But I will say
you would actually probably sell a decent amount and get people to have a damn Wii U just because they want the DS.
I will say it's kind of interesting because this, to my knowledge, is the first time that I can think of there was a big deal about bundling a system and a handheld together.
Two systems,
but the handhelds is important in this aspect because, as we all know, and we've mentioned several times, is the Nintendo is the god of handhelds.
They run that show.
You don't fuck with Nintendo on that front. So in a way, they're taking a different approach. They, in my mind, they're saying, okay, we're not competing with Nintendo because we can't put the Vita out there against anything Nintendo does. That's just not a market. Why don't we try and piggyback on something that is successful for us and try and go that route as opposed to going head to head?
But you're not piggybacking. You're giving it to me at a higher price in addition to something that I might or might not buy anyway. So the point I'm making is I could buy a $400 PS4 or I could buy a $600 PS4 and Vita and get a Vita.
The problem is they're two different. For the most part, they're two different consumers.
Yeah, they are.
You look at all the people who play a lot of handhelds. They probably don't play the same amount of consoles. Handhelds, they're for whatever their lifestyle. So
I agree.
You're trying to say this is one consumer. Maybe I can. It's kind of like an XFL. You like wrestling. You like football. We're going to merge them. The problem is they're two different type of consumers.
They're two audiences.
Yes, correct. And while some may go back and forth, for the most part, they like their separate things. And in this case, you're trying to say, well, you like handhelds, you like this. Let's see if we can just make it like both.
Right.
See, because nobody's going to buy a Vita by itself is going to buy that.
No.
I like the idea of it in theory. Kind of going back to, once again, it's kind of been my motto of this podcast. I like the idea of it in theory. It's being different. It's thinking outside the box a little bit, trying to get the most. And they need to give some sort of a deal on it. I haven't looked at the bundle, see what quote unquote throw-ins are giving you.
The Vita's like $250 and the what is it, PS4 $450 or something
like that. So I mean,
you're saving a little bit of money.
If they're saving
$500, is the PS4 $500?
No, $400.
If they're saving you a little bit of money, maybe giving you a free throw-in game or something like that.
You're saving $40.
Then why the fuck? And that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Are you sure they'll prices?
I think so.
And we need to look that up to make sure.
Well, I know the PlayStation's $400, but I thought the Vita was down as $200.
Okay, I mean, if that's the case,
and I will say I don't know the Vita's a bad system either, because I have a PSP, and I got it at a really cheap deal, but I bought quite a few. It has all the good RPGs on it.
Yeah.
Not that the DS doesn't, because DS actually has a lot of good ones too, but it has some really cool ones. Like Atlas makes a lot of ones. For the PSP, like this guy, Joan d'Arc, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are fucking awesome games. So I'm not hating on the fact that the Vita, it's the bundle makes no sense.
I think it's nonsensical. I don't see a reason for it. I don't see a market for it.
And I honestly, I think that'll be the eventual reaction of it. I personally think it'll flop. I applaud them for their efforts, but I don't think there's really a whole lot.
And one more thing before we move on. You said that it was, thinking outside the box. I don't really think it is. They're like, here, nobody's buying our shit. Put them together.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to give them too much credit for thinking outside the box. I'm doing something a little different, I guess.
It's not something crazy.
No. I didn't mean to put it out as something crazy. I guess I meant it as
it's never been done before.
Sure.
I've
never sucked a dude's dick. Doesn't mean it's a good idea.
No. Well, you are sitting. Two people here would disagree with you.
I'm just thinking, it's just like trying asparagus. You should try it. You have to know if you like it or not.
I don't think it's something you try.
I think this podcast just got a little weird.
I don't think it's something you try. When I eat asparagus, I can go, I just didn't like that. My life is not ruined because I ate asparagus.
Well, you don't know. It might not ruin your life. You might be religious over here. Awaken you.
You know what, though? Lightning round.
Oh, yeah, girl. It's time for the lightning round.
All right, welcome to Lightning Round, the game show that we play every time. Brian was our winner.
Yay!
So we're going to guess his game, because we're jackasses.
You jackass.
Where are we going?
Could be Sizzler.
Yeah.
Could be Red Lobster. Depends on which part of the movie.
I'm
Definitely going in a beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, jackass.
You jackass. God, who doesn't like Joe Flaherty?
Joe Flaherty.
That's the guy who did that part.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Such a good movie.
Make
All right.
things out of clay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Guess your game.
Okay. First clue.
Mm-hmm.
There are tons of enemies in this game.
Tons of enemies or tons of different enemies?
I said tons of enemies.
Okay.
If I felt like saying different enemies, I would have said tons of different enemies.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna obviously need to. There's a bunch of games that have tons
Oh,
of enemies.
Nobody's stacking that up?
No.
There's enemies in this game, and you have to kill them.
Oh, well,
Wow.
I got
a bunch of them.
Okay. It is scored with a lot of rock music.
Dynasty Warriors.
Andrew's correct.
Wow, yeah. I didn't think of rock music.
I had to stack up there, but I was like, I'm going to go for it. What's third clue?
The hardest enemy you will face is Lubu.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
That'll give it away real quick.
Good job, Andrew.
Well, thank you.
It could have been romances. You kill lots of enemies in romances.
You kill lots of enemies in lots of games.
Tens of thousands of troops die in every battle.
Mother cries. I don't know.
All right, so on to my game.
Mm-hmm. That was quick.
I know.
Quick and easy.
This is an
Yeah.
animated game on PlayStation, and some would call it a cult classic.
There's 2 clues.
No, but they,
Maybe even
written
3. Animated PlayStation Cult Classic.
they're all one giant clue, though.
So it's PlayStation Animated Game Cult Classic. Yeah, I got exactly nothing on that one.
Okay.
This game, some people would call the first in its genre.
On PlayStation.
Animated cult classic, first in its genre.
I mean, they had hentai. They had tentacle form games for that, right? You're like circling the drain. I'm still kind of floating.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to let you go to... I don't want to fuck this up. I'm going to let you go to clue 3.
The protagonist in this game was an anamorphic dog with a sock hat and a microphone.
PaRappa the Rapper.
Fuck, yep.
That's not what I was going. I was going Crash Bandicoot, but I'm glad I didn't, because it was the first of its game too that was like a permanent moving forward, jumping, third person thing.
PaRappa the Rapper.
PaRappa the Rapper.
That's right.
I didn't even think about that.
Told you it was out of left field.
Yeah,
That was.
I can't believe after thinking Crash Bandicoot for that long, I can't believe I pulled PaRappa the Rapper out of my.
As soon as you said, I was already saying I couldn't even finish it in time.
All right, my game. First clue. This game was made by the same team that made Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
All right.
Okay? This might give it away. Depends on how much you guys remember about these games. This was an RPG game, but unlike most other RPGs, it had no shops or NPCs to talk to. Big clue.
Oh god, I have no.
I can't remember if this one had shops or anything to buy.
Oh, what was the?
We got a sack over here?
No. There was that one game.
You're thinking real hard.
I know I can see it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know the name of it off the top of my head.
All right, you ready to move on to 3?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
If that one didn't give it away, this one will.
I don't think it was this game though.
In the title is a word that is synonymous with a homeless person. God damn, the crickets are killing me.
What? A homeless person.
Oh,
That should. I thought that would give it away like that. I thought you guys might get on 2.
I can't think of the fucking game.
Oh no!
Yeah, hold on here.
The tension is killing me.
RPG where you don't buy anything or talk to any NPCs. Synonymous with a homeless person. And made by the same people who made Final Fantasy Tactics.
There's a weird game that I don't think you. I can't get my mind off that game now, and I don't think that's it because I don't know if you ever played that.
I can give you a 4th clue.
I would say it's probably a wise decision.
The game's main mechanic and the biggest thing about this game was this huge weapon customization.
Oh, Vagrant Story?
Yep.
Oh.
I was thinking bum something. I was like,
all I had was bum in my head.
yeah, no, I was like bum
Whole time.
fights, bum.
Yeah. I swear to God, I was like, bump fight, that's the same thing.
Bum fights the RPG.
I was just like,
I love bump fights.
because I knew that there was this one, I forget the fucking game. It was like a almost like paper, like, I don't know. It was fucking weird.
Because Vagrant Story was more of it was an action RPG.
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
It wasn't your traditional go to a shop, upgrade your weapon type stuff.
Yeah, because it was
You call a lot of fucking homeless like a fucking bum.
It's a synonym.
I know.
I didn't say it was a
that
close
vagrant. He's up there begging for change. He's not a Vietnam
I don't think
vet.
Bum Story would have been.
I'm like, look at that fucking bum. I kept thinking hobo.
I just couldn't get off bum. Oh, that's good.
Oh shit! All right. So Andrew won the last one.
I did.
So on to the, as we're gonna call it, the Passgasm.
Passgasm. See, you already know it. It's such an easy name.
It's not though.
It's
a good.
It's
Sorry.
good.
It's
We'll
Passgasm.
just call the first one Guessgasm then.
You know, you're not.
O'Brien likes it.
It has two things I like. Oh, descriptive word.
And orgasm.
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 All right.
It's not even that descriptive of a word.
No.
So let's hear that list. Oh wait, we don't have to do that. We're doing the past game gasm
Oh yeah,
The Passgasm.
thing. The Passgasm.
which is such a great name, by the way.
It's
No,
hater.
Hater.
Cool. Fine.
Okay, so this week we're gonna do music, but it's gonna be hits of the 90s. There's like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, hits of today.
I
We
feel
don't
like-
know pop music
No.
today, so at least this narrows it down to a decade that we probably all heard the music as it was coming out.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Not gonna make it any easier.
If it's the
It's not.
Macarena, I don't know how to get you to say the Macarena.
I would say pass.
Final Fantasy or something like that.
I don't think
That would be cheating.
All right, Andrew's gonna give me clues first, and
Oh god,
and here
I'm not looking
goes-
forward to this.
Here goes nothing.
This is gonna be bad. There's not even a word that I can use in there. There's not a descriptive word there. No, I have to
Pass?
I have to pass that.
Already?
Yeah. There's also another. There's the exact same fucking thing.
Just get me somehow. Come on, we can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
When you were a kid, when you'd go over to people's houses to play video games,
Uh-huh.
what night would you usually go over there?
Friday.
The song that talks about Friday night.
It's Friday. I'm in love.
No.
Remember video games?
I know. I use video games as a. I can't.
It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm trying to think of things that have to do with Friday.
I'll keep going with that.
Out the kitchen.
Weekend?
No. That's Ignition.
That's
Shit.
Kelly.
That's R. Kelly. Oh God, it's so.
You got nothing? You can't like do anything?
There's no words. They're all. This is how we do it.
This is how I do it.
It's Friday
The
night.
first one was Tupac. You could have said he was in Def Jam Vendetta. I don't know if he is or not,
He's not.
but you could have gone with Rapper maybe. Get him there. Well, you
Yeah.
said get-
But with the it's
you
over.
get
I mean,
the
it's way
artist.
over. But like there were no nouns. This is how we do it. How am I supposed to give you anything off of that?
That's rough.
And then
That's
the first
the
one,
rough
which
one.
Tupac song was it? It was
You'll see it in a second.
They also had no nouns.
Oh, that's rough.
Bring it to me.
How do you want it? How do you want it?
Like yeah.
How do you feel?
Not even a good Tupac song.
That's not bad.
I
Coming
just-
up as a in the fast lane.
I just find him to be overrated. Sorry.
All right. So my.
You're receiving from O'Brien.
Your life is now fulfilled.
All right. Here we go.
Are you ready?
Probably not.
That one's easy though.
Okay, Uncharted Horizons, you know, the RPG.
Yeah.
What are you selling your boat on?
Water.
Okay.
The ocean.
That's the first part.
Waterfalls.
You know yes. Oh, there we go. You passed it. Oh, okay, so like the new PlayStation handheld is Vita.
Yes.
There's a word that sounds very like that. Is that too much, you think?
can't do sounds.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, okay. Just pass it and use our pass. That's my penalty. Fuck. Okay, like like in Mario, there's something that what's keeping track for the level goes out for the music
The
gets
time.
fast. Okay, that's the last part. Okay, in WoW, they're the priest. What do those priests do?
Resurrect people. Heal.
But if they're trying to think of a good way to get to that one.
Shadow priest.
Yeah, I mean the priest was off base. It's not gonna. Yeah,
I've never even heard that song.
I've never had time praying for time. I was trying with priest pray. You know.
I like where you went with Vita though.
What was
Yeah,
it?
'cause,
What was
like,
it?
Living La Vida
Living
Loca.
If you could have got him to say Vita, you would have got it because obviously it's the only song that has Vita in the title.
Yeah. It just sounded like just a completely good buzz on your part. We just got a point though, by God.
That's right.
This is
This is-
horrifying.
So, can we just have animals every time?
Like with the problem is that with animals you only had to say one thing. With this you have to say multiple words.
And quite often there is not like a waterfall. It is how we do it or something like
Yeah.
that.
And honestly, then there's also animals in video games, so you could be like, oh, there's a
Yeah.
fucking rabbit or
Jaws,
something.
yeah, whatever.
Ready?
I mean, yeah.
Get ready.
We're gonna get 4 points this time. Okay. In Little Nemo's Dream World, you feed candy,
Uh-huh.
right? What would you say candy is? Like, how does it taste?
Tastes just like candy.
No. How does
sweet?
Yes. Okay. Sweet is one of the words.
Sweet emotions. I know it's an old song.
If you're playing Mario Kart, you don't come in second. You come in
First.
okay. First is also notated as what number?
1. Sweet one?
The first word is 1,
1 sweet?
and then oh god, how do I get you to say the last word? Okay, in Skyrim or
Uh-huh.
any Elder Scrolls game, you can rest,
Yes.
and if you rest for a full certain amount of hours, you rest for an entire
Night. So 1 sweet night?
whole.
1 sweet day?
Yep, there you
Oh,
go.
1 sweet day!
My God.
We can pass if we have time.
No, we don't have time. We only have 4 seconds. My God,
Oh.
it took me 50 seconds.
Was that
to get you to
release
say
me from
One
Wilson
Sweet
Phillips?
Day.
Oh, God.
I got you to say it though.
1 sweet day.
One sweet day. One sweet day.
Hold on.
That was
Oh, this is
rough.
this is an experiment, at least.
Getting
Yeah,
2
it
is
is.
the real challenge.
I gotta get you to say 3 words from video games. That's impossible.
But at least you had real nouns.
Yeah.
Apparently it wasn't.
This is how we do it.
This is how I do it.
And I
That's
can't.
boom, boom, boom. All right, ready? So Brian's gonna give me
chilling
clues
on the
now.
west side.
Here we go.
Okay.
Silence.
Yeah, just go, oh shit, yeah, past that. Okay, in Mortal Kombat 3, when you would turn them into a child, what was it called?
Babality.
But yeah,
Baby.
yeah, there you go. So baby is first word.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yep.
Oh!
It's so.
Fuck me.
If that would make your clues better.
Yeah, well, this is not an easy one.
It's not.
Got a keyword. Just give me
Okay, the second word. Mario Galaxy, like on the poster, the costume he's wearing.
B.
Yeah. Okay. That's the second word.
I'll be there for you.
I don't know if that fourth word counts or not, but
I'll
that's
be here for you.
I'll give it credit.
okay.
That's
good. I've never even. I don't know who the fuck this person is. Aphrodite is the goddess of
Love.
Okay, that's the third word.
Oh.
Jesus Christ! I've never even heard. Who's Stewie B?
I have no fucking clue.
I had no idea.
Because I love you, and I want you. The other one. I think you got the right song, but that fourth word wasn't part of the title. You may have named.
You had the
it too
first 3
much.
words in
You
together,
said it.
and this is
right
this
there,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
worst game mode ever. So I'm giving you credit for it, even though that doesn't help. That actually.
What's the first song? All the Man That I Never Was, or something like that?
All the Man That I Want? I think is.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, and that's all the question I don't want.
Hey, we got 2 though.
We did. We got the impossible dream.
Yeah, boy. More than one.
Holla at you, boy.
Holla at your boy.
Okay.
You ready, sir?
Nope.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
That's not even.
Better pass that shit.
That's not even a word.
Okay.
God. But I have to use a video game reference.
Yeah, you do.
Oh God. Whenever you.
We just gotta get this one.
I'm trying to think. That's so funny.
Oh, Jesus.
What do I do? I can't even. I'm trying to think. Okay.
Can you give me to the artist at least with the video game reference, maybe?
Okay. What night do you usually play video games on when you were a younger kid?
Friday.
Okay. Using
This is how we do it?
Yes.
Oh!
Okay. In a lot of RPGs, this doesn't sometimes matter. We always would talk
Story?
about no. You would have too much of it.
Money.
Now this song talks about
Mine on my money?
keep on the
Mine on mine?
Time's up.
mo money, mo problems.
Oh, okay. That's a good one, yeah.
I
My God, that first one.
Bailamos.
Bailamos.
See, I was like, that's not even a word, and I was gonna try and I couldn't. I knew how I could get you to say the other one, but I had to use video game clues to get you back
She just
to
got some Spanish person.
Oh my God.
God.
All right.
Don Quixote.
Am I giving clues to Andrew now?
Yes.
Yes. And that was the end of it.
Oh,
Now I
God.
gotta
thank
have
God.
Bailamos in my head.
I don't even care that I
right, here we
used
go.
this.
Okay. The first Silent Hill game ends in a. Did you play it?
No.
Okay,
Not at the end.
Jesus Christ.
A morgue, a cemetery.
Oh God. No.
a circus.
No.
It's not a Cannibal Corpse song.
Pass. Oh Jesus. All right. In Devil May Cry, Dante's guns are ebony and ivory. Ebony and ivory are
Element or not elements? Stones.
no. They
Minerals.
They're not the same,
Different.
but they are
Opposites.
No hand gestures.
Opposites.
yes. Okay.
Opposites attract.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, boy. Oh fuck. Okay. In any video game where it may rain or snow or it may be sunny. Those are
Weather.
yeah, but those are
Precipitation.
no fuck.
So you guys got
seasons.
one. 4 seasons of something. I didn't even heard that
Of
fucking
loneliness?
song.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
So the epic win of 2.
Who wins? You again?
That would be
Yeah.
me.
God damn it.
5, 4, 3. 5, 4, 3.
That's honestly, I'm happy that I got 3 points.
Ah.
That was
Brutal
fucking
as it was pretty funny.
This used to be my
playground.
playground. Silent Hill in the
Used
playground.
to
Oh.
I didn't know how I was going to get you to say that outside of
The
Silent
playground was
Hill.
going to be a tough one. It really was.
If I could have got you to say playground, you might have guessed that, but
Did you know that song?
No.
oh,
That's things like that's the only problem. If you don't know the song, then man,
You're just playing off words 100%.
yeah. McGird.
So we're going to need to look at that probably a little for next week so we have real...
That was terrifying.
it was a nail biter.
Well, we got songs we never heard of. Like,
There were several, and honestly, the hardest one of the night was Bailamos.
they could
How
have
the fuck will you get somebody to say Bailamos?
they could have at least given you like the top 10 from each year or something, because we would have all heard of those.
If you could just told me let the rhythm take me over. How
The
did you-
rhythm take you Bailamos.
If you could have got me to rhythm or somehow, you could use like Dance Dance Revolution. I wouldn't. Comerdito.
I just all the ones I feel like I got the one that I had a good chance of getting was Mo Money Mo Problems when we ran out of time on it.
Yeah, I was
I
like
could've-
money. Okay, I was like, okay, I was in the right zone.
Yeah.
All right,
On to the list game, the feudgasm, if you will.
the Gasm of Feud.
Since O'Brien wins, you want to give your list first?
I would be happy to.
All right.
Be
I would
the
be
game.
happy to receive your list.
As we once did that special show talking about the generation systems we preferred.
Yep.
You were a Genesis person,
I was.
and this is the top 10 Genesis games of all time according to Dorkly.com.
So not sales.
No, just
Okay.
what they like. Over
All right.
200,000 votes of their users.
All right.
Okay.
They compiled the whole top 50 list, but we're only a podcast, for God's sakes. Oh, I need ceremonial quarter.
Oh, shit.
We're not just doing this on good faith. Okay, so now we are ready for the ceremonial coin flip.
Sonic and Tails, what's it called?
Andrew will call it.
All right.
Ding.
Tails.
Why do you even ask him?
It is Tails. Hey, I gotta ask him.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
Honestly, this might be a little tough because there's a lot of good games on, but there's not a ton of them that were like, oh my god, that was the number one game.
Right.
They don't have like your Legend of Zelda, but I'll go Sonic 2.
Okay. I'm going to go let you that is correct. That's number 1. But all Sonic games, it's the only one that you will not need a specific disclaimer. I didn't want to
Okay, so we're not going to go guess more Sonic games.
Correct. Sonic is all done on 1 because, believe it or not, in the top 50 list, the top 4 games were all Sonic.
Wow, so they just brought it down to...
They brought it down, and that way you wouldn't have to guess Sonic whatever. Which I thought, as far as making on a random side note, making a list, that's probably the awesomest thing they could have done.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all, the Sonic in general was number 1. Okay.
Yes. So we got that, and yes, Andrew, you just grabbed yourself a big fat 10.
The problem is, where the fuck do you go now? Because we knew Sonic would be number 1.
Yes.
And honestly, I was going to guess Sonic 2 as well. Because
that's
the
actually
one that
is
shipped with
number
the
1,
system.
technically
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah. That's the one that shipped with the system. Or was
Well,
sold.
and it was I mean, it was the game.
Okay.
I've got a couple guesses, but after that, I'm fucked.
I'm gonna... Actually, I don't think you're gonna guess that one. So I'm gonna say... Let's try Earthworm Jim.
Number 2.
No!
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Nice.
My other one is still in my back pocket.
Good. And you got it. You kept...
I never thought that would be number 2.
I figured it would be top 10.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
Me too.
I'm gonna go NBA Jam.
That's number 9.
Oh, wow. Good one.
He's heating up.
He's on fire.
They're gonna be a little higher than that, to be honest. But
I'm gonna say Streets of Rage 2.
That is number 6.
Because that shipped with the system.
We actually did a rate on that one.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, it's number 6.
It's a good fucking game.
Great game.
I'll fanboy it. Shining Force 2.
Number 25.
Whoa!
That's offensive. That's
Made the list. No, 24. I'm sorry.
24.
25 is a different game. But it made the list. All right, I want to actually record that strike.
I have another one that I think's.
I'm gonna say... Since we fucked ourselves last time, I'm gonna say...
Pokemon?
I'm gonna say, shit, what number? I'm gonna say Street Fighter 2.
It's correct. That would be number 3.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
boy!
Street Fighter, but I didn't think it was on Sega.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm gonna go Mortal Kombat 2.
Yep.
That's
that was
number
my
4.
next one. Fuck, that was
That's
my next
number 4.
one.
I thought you were
Shit.
going Mortal Kombat, then...
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Dicks.
No. What you have left, if you're curious, is 5, 7, 8, and 10.
Oh, God.
I've got another one. I think it'll be a low on there, if at all on there.
What's
Yeah,
the
this is
score
where
right
it's-
now?
If you really want to know, 17, 22 to 19.
22 to 19?
Yes.
I'm winning?
Yes. This would, in theory, be your first X. Andrew has an X, so he's going to X, in theory, before you.
All right.
But if he gets any of these, he would then jump in the lead, and it would revert to his power position.
Fuck me. No. That can't be up there. Shit. Now I'm at a loss. Let's try... There's no way this can be fucking up there. Let's try Toe Jam and Earl.
Number 16.
Ah, fuck.
I've got one in my back pocket, but I'm gonna go this because it was a big game. I'm gonna go Mortal Kombat 3.
It's on there, but not in the top 10, my good man. I think it is 13.
I don't think it's going to be top 10. I'm going to say Shining Force.
I said Shining Force 2.
Oh, Shining Force is not in the top 25.
Really?
Shining Force 2 is, not 1.
Wow.
Now this game, I remember this game. I don't think it's gonna be on the list, but it's my best guess. General Chaos.
No.
That was honestly a lot of people loved that game. It was a very well regarded
Oh,
game.
yeah, I do remember that game.
It wasn't top 25, though.
So that's 3 X's for me.
Yes.
Oh, thank Jesus.
Now, this is where it got tougher. Number 5 was Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin and
yeah.
Lion King.
Lion King was 15, but Aladdin was 5.
Aladdin was
Everybody would probably say Aladdin is not only the best Disney game, maybe the best movie game, one of the best games on the system.
Aladdin
Aladdin was so
King.
good.
How did I forget about
That's
both
one you
of
should have
those?
got.
Fuck.
7 was Battletoads.
I don't think I would have said that.
No, because you think of it as Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
8 was TMNT.
What?
Yeah.
What
The
game?
Hyperstone.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
fuck
never
it.
That's one that you'd get, and 10 was Castlevania Bloodlines.
I would have never said any of those.
I thought you would have possibly got 11.
Ah, so Lion King was the only one I would have got.
11 was Golden Axe.
Oh, Golden, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
12
good
was
game.
Zombies Ate My Neighbor.
Oh.
13 was the Mortal
I
Kombat.
played that on Super.
Then you got to
Was
Altered Beast.
Zombie Ate My Neighbor on Super?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's where I played it.
I did too.
You know, it was a good list, and I'm not mad about what we got and didn't get.
25 was Phantasy Star. Like, Phantasy Star's 25, Shining Force was 24, and those are the only real representatives from the RPG
I can't
genre.
believe the original Shining Force wasn't on there.
Shining Force
Shining
2.
Force 2 is so much better.
It was more well regarded. I personally like Shining Force 1 better.
It's
I'm saying
nostalgia.
for all your...
No, honestly, I played Shining Force, I think 2 more than I did 1. But I legitimately like the
Really?
gameplay in 1 better.
She's 2 had a better, I mean, not much better story, but in general, I thought it was a little bit better game. But either
All right.
way...
How did I forget Lion King? Or Aladdin.
Aladdin.
We always talk about how that's the best movie
Yeah,
game.
but it's... You're not thinking that way for these kind of
You know how it
lists,
is.
though.
You get to the list, and you're thinking in your head, and it's what makes the game tough, and makes it awesome.
All right.
I actually was going to say Street Fighter, but I was thinking Super Nintendo, not Sega.
Yeah.
I just don't know why.
You guys did really good, though.
Yeah, we did do pretty good. My list, best-selling video games ever. No system, all time, just video games.
Ever.
Do we need do we need like the, 1, 2, 3,
Well,
is it
I would think so, right?
okay.
What do you mean 1, 2, 3?
Like what iteration is it in the series?
Yeah, it's the individual. You're asking for individual game sales,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Individual game sales, period. Numbers are included. Just as like always.
Okay.
So O'Brien's going to call in the air Sonic or Tails?
Sonic.
It's fucking Tails again.
Right,
It's
Tails.
like 3 weeks in a row.
Tails Revenge, bitch.
Tails on a win streak.
God, I need to know my sales better. I'm probably gonna get shit on, but I'll go Super Mario 3.
Not even on the lists.
Good game, though. I mean,
I thought it sold really.
Eventually,
I
one of
remember,
us would've
I remember
got to it.
selling really well. For
Wii Play. Oh, Wii Sports. I meant the one that came with the system.
Wii Sports is number 2.
Then I'll go Wii Play.
Wii Play's number 10.
Yeah, I kind of give that one up. Super Mario Brothers, the original.
Number 4.
Yeah.
I will go Halo 3.
No. Halo 3. I saw Halo down here somewhere.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World is not on here.
Huh.
I've got 2X already. I'm fucked.
They're being packaged with the Super Nintendo, you know?
Final Fantasy 7.
That is the bell.
Nope.
Would Connect Adventures be on there?
Connect Adventures is on here somewhere.
If not, then I would have probably guessed Sonic or Sonic 2. Which one?
You're missing a big one. Tetris.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Tetris is number 1.
Right, makes good sense.
143 million copies sold.
Is that just assuming does it say the Game Boy one?
It says Game Boy, Game Boy Color, NES, mobile phones.
See, that's a lot of iterations of Tetris, though, I would assume.
It's still the same game, though. It didn't change.
See, I would never have thought of that because
Yeah.
I'm thinking just the Nintendo cartridge or just the Game Boy cartridge.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, that one is kind of misleading.
Number 3 was Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4 was Super Mario Brothers. Number 5 was Mario Kart Wii. Number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5. Wii Sports Resort was number 7.
Oh.
New Super Mario Brothers number 8. Modern Warfare 2 is number 9. And Wii Play, obviously, you got it number 10.
Huh. Well, okay.
San Andreas was 12. Modern Warfare 3 was 13. Grand Theft Auto 4 was 14. God, you really underestimate how much those Grand Theft Auto games sell.
You do.
Connect Adventures was 17.
I
There
almost
it is.
said a Grand Theft Auto game, but I wouldn't have known which one.
Number
I
8, Nintendogs.
That one kind of throws
I remember
me.
selling a lot of that game.
I mean, it's sold big. It's a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
I assume this is worldwide sales figures. This is American sales figures.
It just said list of best-selling
Cool.
All right.
games across all platforms that have sold at least 15 million copies. Was the thing there.
That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games. All right, on to
my
Mr.
list.
Andrew's list.
So my list here is the best original Nintendo games. It's also, I think, by Dorkly. I think is
Was it Dorkly?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It was One Up.
It was one
Sorry.
up. Yeah,
One Up, sorry.
I thought you said it was a different
yeah.
site.
So this is Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes.
The Famicom in Japan.
The Famicom. All right, let me close my list here. I'm just getting all interested here. Okay.
So I need the coin.
Oh, the ceremonial quarter. Here we go.
You should be calling.
I'm gonna fucking stay in my roots. Sonic
Have fun with Tails.
again.
Oh,
Tails is wrecking people. Get off Tails.
strategies. Okay, so best best Nintendo games.
Yes.
This is
Super
not
Nintendo.
selling. This is best.
I know. I'm gonna go with Super Mario Bros. 3.
Number 1.
Yeah.
That's a good list. That's not the
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the fanboy list.
Yeah.
That's legit list because that is like
That is the game.
that's the game right there. That's the tits. I want to go home and play that now.
Zelda.
Number 2.
I assume you're referring to the first Zelda.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Metroid.
No.
Wow.
That's honestly the only one. Yeah. This
How
list
about the original Super Mario?
is number 4.
There we go. Ooh, what's 3?
Not Metroid. Motherfuckers.
What is 3?
The problem is there's so many good games on it. What do they quantify? You know what I mean? That's what gets kind of tough on it.
There's a couple there's one specifically I don't think you'll get.
That's fair enough.
It's like Tiger Heli or something.
That's a good game. I don't care what you say.
Xevious.
That's not a good game.
Abadogs or something.
I like fucking Abadogs.
I do too.
There's just so many games to name. Castlevania?
Number 10.
Okay.
Whoa. I don't know if this is going to be number 3 or not. I'm going to say Punch-Out.
Number 5.
Wow.
Fuck. What is number 3?
Mega Man 3?
No.
What the fuck is number 3? Oh god, there's so many games. We said Mario 3 and Mario 1 and Zelda and Punch-Out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the one you got? Number 10?
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
So we have 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
A lot, actually.
No shit.
Probably such a broad. Like, I
know.
felt like the Genesis
Yeah.
one you narrowed down because, not to knock the Genesis, it wasn't the Nintendo.
It didn't have the library, yeah.
I got nothing. Just on a whim because it came with a system, I'll say Top Gun, even though I know it's not up there at all.
No.
That game's terrible.
I know it's terrible.
I mean, not
but
terrible. It had a good soundtrack.
I thought it might come with nostalgia factor because it came with a system or something.
Still, not having Metroid is slightly offensive. Final Fantasy.
Actually, no.
Well, fuck, I'm out.
You got 3?
Yeah.
What the fuck is number 3?
Contra.
Oh my god, that's
No
terrible.
Mega Man? We have Mario 3, Legend of Zelda, Contra, Mario 1, whatever, Punch-Out, River City Ransom.
Oh my god,
I love that
Now,
game.
Here's the problem though. That is a fanboy out of blue answer. I
But
own that
it's
game.
a good game.
Oh, it's one of my favorite Nintendo games, but I just don't.
That's the game where you're punching up on the punching bag that I couldn't remember.
Yes, and you eat like sushi and different
Yeah.
power ups, and you fight like all these different high school games.
Mega Man
2.
2.
Yeah.
Sorry, 3's better.
3's better.
One I thought O'Brien would get, Dragon Warrior.
Oh, they have Dragon Warrior, but not Final.
I
I think Dragon Warrior is maybe a better game than Final Fantasy. But.
Number 9 is the one I didn't think anybody was getting. DuckTales.
Woo! That's a good game.
You know how many times I've played that?
Oh, yeah. Hundreds.
Hundreds. I love that. I didn't think about that game. That game,
That's
honestly,
the one I figured people...
top 5 platformer on Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. An amazing game.
You know what else was good? A platform on Nintendo? Chippendale.
Yeah, oh
Rush
god,
Rangers
that,
fucking awesome.
that game was fucking amazing.
G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Great game.
All right. Feel good winning that. So how does the tally look?
See, I-
scorekeeper.
I got the first 2 points. I didn't get any points after that. so-
Correct. You are the big winner. 4-3-2.
Hey! Yeah, boy.
I sucked balls in the first round, and you did good in the
You
last
brought it back
round.
in the second round, though.
Yes.
I knew when you had the sales category. I knew I was fucked on that one. Going against
Yeah.
O'Brien in the sales category, and you didn't even get some of the heavy hitters though either.
No, I
You
didn't
know,
do that well, really, considering, but that is all she wrote, gentlemen.
Yeah, boy. Feels
Yeah.
good. Feels good. So, I hear there was a game that you played a lot of.
In fact, you might even say I played so much of this game.
Yeah?
What game is it?
It would be Lunar.
I've heard you talk about it.
Lunar's a good game. I
It
played.
is.
It had the fucking booklet with the.
Well, see, that already is dating myself.
Oh, because
Originally, I mean, when I was conceptualizing bringing this game, I'm not talking about the remake, because the remake updated.
yeah, I do remember
It
that.
is
Now, yep.
essentially one of our questions in the mailbag. The update ones are literally our remastered game.
Yeah.
Right.
They updated the graphics. They updated the music, which some of the music was not as good. It was complete
Right.
changing. And some of the later ones that they remade actually had considerable plot changes,
Right.
which I also really don't like. But I did play a lot of the remakes too, just because they were cool and collectible.
Why not?
But yeah, so I don't really say I'm necessarily saying just Lunar, the first one. I was thinking in my head the whole series, but the first one I was first thinking of. The Silver Story. The second one's the Eternal Blue. They've made a whole bunch of ones since. If you haven't played, it's Working Designs is a game that did a lot of it.
What was the other Working Designs game you talked about?
There's a lot of them I love. Dark Wizard. Pretty much any good
You
art.
just talked about it. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that?
Cosmic Fantasy?
No.
It wasn't. Warsong wasn't.
No, Warsong.
Maybe
was
maybe you
Trico.
mentioned Lunar at one point.
I may have. I mean, the thing is, I like working designs. I
Yeah.
like Magic Knight Raiders. We talked about that one. That's a working
Yeah.
design game.
That's an interesting
What
game.
was it?
Magic Knight Raiders.
I don't know.
It was like an anime game.
Yeah, it's an action RPG, more almost like adventure, like Linkish.
Right.
But anyway, so Lunar. The thing about Lunar is, Lunar was Final Fantasy VII in a way before Final Fantasy VII. There were a ton.
How dare you?
Everybody's like, oh, the cutscenes and the animation.
Yeah.
That was all done in Lunar. Lunar was
Right.
the first big one that did that.
Yeah.
They had all voice, they had singing, and it was, I mean, I remember like showing it to my mom because it was so crazy to see that.
And kind of going along with that, whenever you'd have conversations with characters, you instead of having a little like box with a little portrait of them, you actually had an animated, face of them right
Yes.
there with you. And then if they were angry and what they were saying, it would switch to like an angry face. Ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to understand where it is. And the thing with Sega CD, everybody kind of takes a dump on it, but it had a lot of good RPGs, mostly working design games, but a good substantial number. And they did a lot of things that were really cool. And another thing I like about Lunar, we always talk about music. I didn't have a Sega CD. I had a JVC XI, which
That was the duplicate thing. Like didn't it have the Sega and all that shit on it?
it did. It was all one
Yeah,
big machine. And the thing is, with XI did some things that the Sega didn't do. It played some music video games, but it allowed you to view all the stuff on that CD-ROM separate from the game, so you could listen to the soundtrack separately.
Dreamcast did that.
Yeah, and I used to do that all the time. Like, I really liked Vay's music, but I used to listen to Lunar. Lunar had an amazing soundtrack, and it was one of the better stories. It was cliche without being too cliche, and it was linear, but it never felt boxed in.
Right.
The thing is, Lunar was one of the better written video, like, RPG games I can really think of.
Did it have any like special mechanics that would separate it from other RPGs, or is it pretty standard? Or
It was more in the characters and their roles. The battle was similar, but not completely formulaic. It wasn't
Right.
exactly like a Final Fantasy or something like that. Collecting all those different dragons, you had different powers, and you had the dungeons were really cool because the story behind it, you had to unlock these 4 dragons, and that made you the Dragon Master, and yada yada yada.
Daenerys or something?
Kind of. It's like Daenerys,
With no tits.
no
Aw.
tits, less tits, sadly.
Boo.
Well,
This
it's
game already sucks.
Yeah.
exactly right.
I'm never playing this shit.
So it was a pipe bomb series. They made those remasters, which God knows if you go and try to buy those, it's a lot of money to buy those 2 remastered ones. And
Really?
see them all.
Seth's already got. He's got the one with the book and the
It's
whole
like
thing.
$100.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's one of them rare RPGs.
and the Sega CD one's even more
Wow.
because it's hard to find, especially the sequel, believe it or not. But
I thought it came out on Sega CD, didn't it?
it did. Both of them did
So why is it hard to find? If that's the game it was really or the system it was released on.
because it's rare.
Oh, the system you mean it was rare.
No. Well, they didn't make a lot of that
That
for
game.
Sega CD.
Hmm.
No, I mean all those working design games are pretty well hold their value.
Did they make it for any other systems?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, just those 2. They made now you go to Japan. Got it on Saturn. They made one on Game Gear. They've actually started releasing new Lunar games.
Gear.
Game Gear had one. They made a
Wow.
re-release, a remake of that Game Gear game. They came out in different
Game
locales.
Gear had some like random games that I always want to play, like the
Shining Force Sword of Hajj.
Yep.
Which, believe it or not, it's on Sega CD.
Oh.
Sega CD Shining Force 3,
is.
or Shining Force CD has like those 3 different
Yeah,
storylines.
yeah,
One of
yeah.
them is just a completely Sword of Hajj remake.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
But they actually have made one on DS now for Lunar in America. They're bringing him back, and they're the same original guys who did it are redoing him now. I guess like talking about this game, I think everybody takes for granted cutscenes. They take for granted animations, all the different things you do. Like you said, the face animations, things that are just so natural. This is the first game that did all that.
This did it in 2D graphical environment.
Correct.
That's the important part.
And you didn't have a world of immersion since you had to do it with story and music and all the simplistic things.
And I don't remember, and it's been fucking years since I played this, but I don't remember there being any like groundbreaking mechanics. I know you're going to more of the visual effects, but I do remember there being like attack chains. Like
There were.
as you leveled up, you got you'd instead of attacking once, you'd attack twice. Very basic stuff, but at the time you really didn't see anything like that. You saw one attack. I mean, I think you had just generic magic, wasn't it?
Well, the thing is, what you're saying is correct. When you asked me if it wasn't completely different, it's not completely true. And then part of the reason I picked this game is, one, like I said, when I saw the cutscenes, I actually showed my mom. I was like, check this out. Oh my god, they're talking on the video game. It wasn't Super Tecmo Bowl. They said, hut, hut, hike. It was legit, full-on, a 8-minute cutscene.
Right.
And you've never seen that before. And it's one of those games that I think everybody just says, oh, Final Fantasy VII did that. Just glosses over the fact that, like, 6 games came out and did that.
Right.
We're just going to completely ignore this genre and say they are the first, giving them innovative credit where it's not due.
Right.
Not to mention, unless you're probably a hardcore Japanese RPG fanboy, you've never played it.
Right.
And if you like RPGs, it's a great RPG. The story is legit solid, despite the normal cliches. It's a good story. It's a really cool environment you play in. The combat is different, and even now I think holds up. And it's got good music.
Well, the thing about games, and again, I think you're going to find that a lot of those games that we hold so, high in regards as far as nostalgia is concerned is because they had great music. They had great innovations. They had great stories. Video games today don't have to have those because they compensate with cool gameplay mechanics and graphics.
Yeah.
And that's not needed anymore. You don't need to immerse me in the story to keep me occupied. You just show me pretty colors and
Give me loot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
It's like, well, a cutoff too for it is one of the big reasons I picked it is because working designs. I love working designs. I liked every one of their games, from the games I have on TurboGrafx 16 all the way till they stopped making them on Saturn, which they made a few after the fact. I mean, working designs was really just the American localization of the Japanese GameSoft. So I view them as a game. They made a ton of RPGs that are great, nobody knows about. And just so many good ones. Like, Magic Knight Ray Earth is a fucking really, really cool game.
It was honestly like...
Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Yeah.
Ray Earth being one word.
Oh.
Yeah. It's based off of like a manga and an anime.
Okay.
But honestly, not knowing anything about that when we played that game together, it was a really fun game. It was different, and you kind of had to be in a different mindset. I mean, there were, 3 female characters,
it was
whatever?
It's like, imagine if you had 3 links.
Yeah.
But they were all different abilities. You could swap them in and out while doing an adventure game RPG, leveling and everything. Great music. It was kind of like Japan rock, kind of. Like, that like anime rock kind of feel. So it was kind of cool at the
like
time.
baby metal.
Yeah, yeah, sort of. It was also the last game released on Saturn, at least for in America.
Huh.
So it was a very late game. So graphically, it was really good.
Right.
They did a lot of really neat games that are completely different.
Huh.
And they're just like they. There's a game where people died. The bad guy was ultra evil. It was a really cool concept. And
the first boss fight was the worst thing known to man.
Oh my god, a lot of them were really hard.
The first boss fight, honestly, was fucking retarded.
Dude, I don't know how many times we died on that.
I like 17,000.
And that's the one thing I'll say about Lunar. It actually is somewhat difficult. It's not just, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and win every time.
I hate turn-based games that are easy because what it turns into is you mashing your button just to get through the fight.
Yep. Like, using an example, there's, what is that?
South Park turned into that.
Is that Final Fantasy 2 where there's like a river stage and you go around you go around fighting a rabbit? That's 3, yeah.
Yes.
If you hold up and just hold down A,
you could power level because you get into a loop and you could actually power level.
Lose.
You could turn off your game and power level.
Yeah, one time I did that. I just went to bed that night. I put what was it, like a
popsicle stick?
I think I had like a rocking chair or something. I just fucking mashed on the A button, just set the chair on the A button, went to sleep. Fucking the whole game was easy after that. I mean, I beat it already.
Because you didn't have to, you weren't in any concern of dying.
Basically, yeah, I just fought for like 10 hours and just got a bunch of experience and money. The whole game was gravy.
So the current was taking you around or something?
Yeah, there were different directions you would choose on the water path, and then there was one certain way, like you would accidentally choose it, and you'd be like, oh shit, I just ended up in the same spot. Well, it's supposed to be a detriment.
Right.
You
In
have
all
this
reality, you're just
NPC
like...
that was really overpowered to help you through the tough part.
He wasn't even good, he just heal.
Yeah, it was Tello, or not Tello, it was
Bannon.
Yeah.
Bannon was his name.
Yeah,
Why I remember that shit.
He was decent, and he was going to keep you alive, and that way to get you through it, and it made it easy.
Wow.
So, but I agree with you completely. If it's a linear, traditional turn-based, it needs to be difficult.
Yes.
So go out and play Lunar.
Make me have to heal, make me have to use potions and items and whatever. Make me have to think about my next move, not just mash through fight, magic fight,
And attachment. You got really character attachment.
I do remember that.
All the Lunar games. And I know this has not been the most interactive one, but it's a game that I think that people overlook, working designs in general, and these are games that you can emulate them pretty easy.
Which is the importance of this segment. Bringing some old school games that you haven't heard of or haven't played yet into the front lines.
Because we have a week between each podcast, and hopefully there's somebody out there that listens to this game, listen to this podcast and goes, you know what, I'm going to go out there and play Lunar this next week, and then listen to the podcast next week. I mean, I don't know that everybody's going to do that. I know people have time, that kind of stuff.
I think if they do, they should, and not just this one, any of the ones that we bring up in our retro review.
I think they're all worth playing.
I hope but email us at
If you've played it already.
Or tweet us. Hit the Twitter us on that and say, hey, I played whatever game we brought up, and give us thought, and we'll actually...
Because actually that really
bring it
helps
up.
us out a lot, because that, one of our reasons for doing the podcast is to not educate, that's too strong of a word, to,
Inform
you guys of stuff that, that you may not know about. And if you guys are playing these games and you're getting back with us, that, that makes us feel good about, the fact
Makes
that
us feel like we're accomplishing something, because we're not here to make millions off of a podcast. We're here to have fun. Enjoy.
I thought I was going to quit my job. I thought we should be rich by
I already quit my job.
We're here to enjoy each other's company, talk about something we love, and hopefully
you guys
you to
get
play
something.
Lunar.
You
Yeah,
guys
get
get
you to
something
play a
out of
video
it,
game,
and
yeah.
you guys hopefully are going out and downloading or buying or whatever it is you do, playing these games, and you're catching up on history that you guys may not have been there for.
Yeah, because you realize Sega CD is a glossed over system, and there's some of my favorite video games ever on Sega CD.
Sewer Shark.
RPGs, honestly, though, I could probably name like 7 or 8 that are all amazing.
Oh, probably more than that.
And that's the thing. And not just that, there's a really good dungeon crawler games that are more action-based. There's this one game, it's like the Avengers or the Revengers. And it is fighting game, RPG, married. It's fucking crazy.
I heard about it.
It's fucking awesome.
The Avengers or Revengers or something like
Something
that?
like that. I can't remember the damn title.
Huh.
But it's a really good
I
game.
remember hearing about
I
that game.
actually think I have it.
I
And
remember the Sega CD cases were like fucking this big.
They were massive. I know. Keeping all those stored has been a bitch all the time.
Yeah.
But
They were like they were a jewel case, like a
They were.
CD, but they were like
Giant.
a half inch
because the
thick.
booklet was so fucking tall.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why. But yeah.
They look like a VHS size.
Dungeon
almost.
Explorer is a really good dungeon crawler game.
Dungeon
Yeah, make sure you guys are emailing us or tweeting that stuff, because that really is going to help us out, and let us know.
Explorer. Help us out, just make us feel good.
The only one that anybody's actually really commented on was Master Magic. Quite a few people asked for the link, so I actually, if you didn't know this, I don't even brought this up in the podcast, but I actually put the link under the person who asked. I put it under another comment. I believe I even tweeted it out maybe back
On the YouTube comments and tweet.
Yeah, this was like 6 weeks ago, but
Well, we can retweet that.
yeah, I should. Because the thing is, once again, you go to the site and search for the game, it will not pop up. You actually have to search through Google and find the correct link. Because the link isn't dead, but it's not... You have to win at the internet to find
It's
it.
definitely a link to the past, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Once you find it, it's a free game and it's rocking.
Sweet. all right, guys.
Does that do it for the podcast?
That does it for the podcast.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Gamegasm podcast.